some Earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false? This is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hey, good morning. Lagaze is here on Sunday morning. On the day of the Sabbath, John Lagaze is joining us. So yeah, John hasn't been here in midnight is past John's bedtime, by the way.
Midnight, bro? You fucking kidding me? Yo, I'm serving all the MLB junkies every day, man. If I tell you there were 10 people in my spreadsheet every day waiting for to start uploading when I drop at 5:30, 6 a.m. Yo, I got it. Every day, man. It's hard. I got to sleep sometime. I got 2 young kids.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh,
this is my time, and I was with them yesterday. So, like, FM, I'm all about it. Let's get fucking low, bro.
Well, I don't know why the chat isn't working right now, but I'll have.
Oh, is that the thing you forgot? You said it, right?
No, but it says it's working, but for some reason nothing's coming in. But all right, I'll just post a screenshot of the chat. We'll have to do. I don't know why that is. But yes, Steve, how was your week?
Good, man. Yeah, yesterday was my day off. I don't do college football, so I'm ready to roll now. My wife was out of town for 4 days, so I'm just so happy she's back. Let me tell you, my little kids were, little kids.
Little kids.
Oh, did you have them?
What's that? Yeah, I had them for 3 days straight. I got a 4 and a 6-year-old, another one on the way too. So.
Oh, dude, the restart. No. Oh, man, not for me.
Sounds like a terrible decision.
Dude, I made that terrible decision about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I did. I got 10 and 7. They're right, and we talked about it, a couple of years ago, and it's like no.
All right.
Oh man, God bless you, brother. Go get it.
So
There's nothing better than a new baby. There's nothing better than a baby. I'm obsessed with my family.
There's nothing worse than a new baby.
I'm old. I'm fat. I want to sleep, bro.
I'm with Kyle.
I'll tell you what, Kyle. You want to laugh? If we get pregnant, I can start doing the midnight show, kid.
There you go. That's something to shoot for. So I hope everyone is enjoying your weekend. It was a very good college football Saturday for me, which is always fun. Man, I think starting next year, I'm just not going to do the I'm not going to participate in week 1 and 0 because as soon as we get to week 2 and I start jumping on soft openers, what do you know? The results start turning around after the rough start. So I think maybe next year that should be a new strategy. Anyway, we got a bunch of NFL games to get to. I don't have a ton of bets open. I just added one this morning. I think I have 5 right now. Maybe try to find some more. There's a lot of tough ones on the board. This is the game that's on the screen right now is Patriots Dolphins, and this is a game I bet. I just don't necessarily love it. But go ahead, John. Why don't you kick us off here?
You know what I was saying right off the bat was there's nothing more sure to get your ass kicked than to IKB the NFL market on Sunday morning, and I just don't understand what anyone sees in the Dolphins. Like, why would I'm not sure why Miami would be favored over anybody.
What? I'm saying the same thing about the Patriots.
I'm not really pushing back that much about either, but I think their trajectory is probably a little stronger. I believe in the quarterbacking a little more. I think even with the poor results.
Maybe Drake May's better than Tua, but that's still like I don't know. Like that's an argument. Tua played terrible last week, but he also has a high ceiling. We've seen it recently. The Dolphins offense was still averaging close to 6 yards a play when he was healthy last year. So in my opinion, both of these teams look shockingly bad in the opener. And I'm not sure why the Dolphins got downgraded more so than the Patriots. I still think this Dolphins defense is going to be very good this year. They're loaded with talent.
What about the secondary? I feel like the secondary is trashola and injured.
Well, they got Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jack Jones. They brought in talent. It was just brand new. They are injured, though. That's true. But, I mean, this team, they got edge rushers out the ass and Bradley Chubb, Chop
Robertson.
They
were awful last week, and that was not a great offense. And here's the thing. I think Miami, again, I really hate doing the spreadsheet thing. I got them. But I hate really doing it for a week because then that's why you and I love the style because you're right. You really want to be macro and zooming out. But what we saw last from the Dolphins kind of sucked. Two, I think they need to run, and the Patriots' run D is very strong. That we really saw last week. They blew up the spreadsheet, man. 2.3 yards per rush. They were in the backfield in a negative average yards before contact per rush. If the Dolphins are going to have trouble running the ball, because their whole thing, they are predicated on creating space. New England created a ton of pressure last week, got to the QB 4 times, had a bunch of splash plays. If Tua's playing off platform and unable to create that space they need with A-Chain, I don't know how they get it going again. Maybe the answer's somewhere in the middle. Maybe I'm too low, maybe you're too high. But
the Dolphins look terrible in the opener. I'm not trying to say that they didn't. I'm just saying the Patriots also look terrible. I mean, they got their ass beat at home by they got their ass beat. And if you rewind a week and change ago, I think the Dolphins are laying 3 in this spot. And it's like, it seems like the market only downgraded the Dolphins. The Dolphins look shockingly bad, but the Patriots were freaking terrible. That offensive line looks worse than last year against the Raiders, who have a brand new defense. I'm on board with how bad the Dolphins looked. Like, I'm on board with that. I just don't.
It's funny. So if arbitrage didn't exist, they probably should both be underdogs.
Yeah, I grabbed Miami -1 is the bet I actually have, because I thought, well, this is crazy. They only downgraded the Dolphins. This is going to close at 3, which doesn't look to be the case, because I think it's still it's what is it, 2.5?
Yeah. I said 1.5. I didn't even see any 2.5s.
Yeah, there's 2.5s right now. FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, circa 2.5.
Okay, DK's at 1.5 -110.
Yeah, and ESPN bets at 1.5 too. So you're on the Patriots, John?
Yeah, I think I like the Pats. I have the +1.5 as one of my super contest picks. I'm not really betting NFL straight just yet. I want a better feel. I like to know what's going on under the hood a little more. But you have to play super contest. So I like to take underdogs with my super contest early season picks. New England's on the list of 5 dogs that I like today, just because, again, it's a coin flip of anything.
Yeah, I think this Dolphins defense can play well. This is a top 10 defense last year. They have a lot of new pieces in the secondary. They had a bad opening game.
What about the Butte? What about the fat Butte? That was my play for today. I forgot to mention it.
The Patriots were so disappointing in the opener. I just don't see why no one's reacting to that disappointment. But yeah, I'm on the Dolphins -1. Steve, what are you on?
Wow, that was 5 minutes of arguing about how crappy these teams are. These teams suck. These teams are absolutely awful. But before the season, I was really down on the Dolphins, and what I saw in week 1, again, you try not to overreact, but I really think this is a team. This is the bottom 5 team in the NFL. I think they are terrible on so many levels. They got a decent pass rush, but their secondary is awful, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong there, but yeah, the Patriots didn't look good either. I mean, why would you put any money on a side here? In my opinion, I'd have to lean Patriots if I had to. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this Dolphins team. I think their coach is going to get fired probably by like week 6 here. But I do have a player prop. We cashed it on the show last week. It was Hunter Henry at a +120 over receptions. This time I like his over 34.5 receiving yards. He got 2 passes early in week 1, and then we had to kind of sweat it out until the fourth quarter. He finished with 66 receiving yards. He averaged 16.5 yards per reception. Again, this is just one game. Long catch at 27 yards. 27% of the team's air yard share as well, which is pretty high for a number like 34.5. But he had 8 targets. He played in 93% of Drake May's dropbacks. We know he's going to be on the field. Number 1 pass catcher. And again, you don't usually see this low of a line for a number 1 pass catcher. He's over this in 9 of his last 12 starts. He actually has 41+ yards in 8 of those 9. This is the possible ladder spot, 50 and 60. I think the books are kind of pricing him because Diggs is there and all these guys. So, I still think he's a safety blanket. I think he's going to work the middle of the field. We just saw the Dolphins played the rookie Tyler Warren. He had 7 receptions for 76 yards. Again, they don't do much well defensively. They were okay in rushing the passer. They were bottom 15 in covering tight ends last year. I expect 7+ targets. So I think Henry goes way over this game. Or over this line, but I think this game is just absolutely disgusting.
He ran a dozen slot routes too, Henry. Those are really valuable, and I do, I do reception props also. Those are really valuable to get those quick kind of high probability look. We're the only ones celebrating. Oh, he went 4 for 17. Who cares? But if you had the 4 receptions or whatever, you get to go.
Toast?
Yeah, I think 30 is a smash. 35, yeah.
I tailed you on the Dolphins. Nothing for kicking or anything like that. Both of them are at 6.5, and their field goals are juiced. So, can't be playing it. Don't worry, John. I got some coming for you. Don't you worry.
Dude, did I see a massive streak going on? Are you the kicking whisperer? Is that you?
He hasn't lost one yet this year.
We have
Oh my God! I
So
love
the rule
it.
is I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0 this week with Mr. McManus coming through with us on Thursday night. I have to go 70% or better this weekend for Sauce
Yeah.
to actually
So
believe
what
it.
happened
Most of
was-
them are point overs, or are they distance overs?
points.
No, points.
Or
Point
field
overs.
goals.
What happened was Toast swept. He went like 7-0 last week, and I said if he goes 70% or more this week, I will admit that he might have an edge over the kicking market. But he has to go 70%.
This is history being made.
If he doesn't go 70%, I'm saying random variance. He got lucky.
Yeah, where I would put most of the kicking, what I think at least about kicking props right now.
I kind of like my Dolphins, but everyone in the comments is on Patriots. It seems like
I think that, I was just going to say that too, but I'm not really. I don't have my finger on the pulse of that. But it feels like everybody's trying to, in my head, everybody's trying to make too much about how bad Tua looked, how good Drake.
Well,
May
you know what I
looked
think
in
it
the
is, Toast? Because last week I had the Colts. I think everyone had the Dolphins, and they're all pissed off because they all had the Dolphins
Maybe.
last week. I had the Patriots, and I watched that game. That team sucks. The team's they got their ass beat at home by the Raiders. I don't know why we're not talking about that more. Anyway,
Hey, real quick, Christian Gonzalez is back, right?
no.
He's not back still for week 2. Okay, I
No, I
thought
don't.
he might be back. He's a huge piece in that secondary for New England.
He's been ruled out. So no. Jacksonville, Cincinnati. Who wants to bat leadoff here? Go,
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Toast. What do you got? You have a kicker prop here?
Hell yeah. Cam Little over 7.5 kicking points here. Look, this kid, got to show a little bit of respect from this kid. Started the year off really hot, 4 for 4 so far this year, coming out of Arkansas. Got some experience here, but it's not the fact it's that. It's just that we're getting a total of almost 50 points with an away team with this kid that's been kicking in the Jacksonville offense that I don't really trust right now. So I honestly think that Little can be one of the better kickers in this league. I understand that everybody's going to laugh at that, but I pay attention to this stuff, this kick and kick. Over 7.5 kicking points at -110. Play it to -120. I know it's going up. I got this at +110, so that's just how much that line is flipped. But hey, I'm really in the market.
Toast is moving the kicking market.
Yo, I hope that quote, I pay attention to this stuff, is already being earmarked for one of these.
I pay
awesome,
attention to this kind of stuff.
At least 2 hours,
Awesome
3
tweets.
hours a week.
Steve, want to go second?
Yeah, you think sportsbooks put like 5 seconds into making this line? You're like, I don't care. Who cares?
But I thought +110. I knew they were sleeping at the wheel. I'll tell you that.
I do like how his right leg kicks. He is a right leg kicker, right? I don't even know.
Giving Little at over 7.5 at +110. They're asleep at the wheel.
I'm just saying.
Quick trend on this one. Of the 100 quarterbacks that have made a start since 2021, Trevor Lawrence is the least profitable quarterback on the money line on the road. 8-21 straight up. It's bad. This one sidewise, what version are we going to get? Are we going to see the Bengals of the early season again, like we saw the offense in week 1? Are they going to actually turn the corner finally? And by the way, is Trevor Lawrence just a bad quarterback? I mean, he is just not look good. Even though they won last week, he doesn't look good at all. He doesn't know how to get the ball to Brian Thomas. He just, in my opinion, he's a bust right now for how many people wanted him on their team. But I don't have a side. This is just disgusting. I don't know what to expect from these two teams. You expect some points with these two defenses, but we'll see. My best bet, it's just an anytime touchdown. T. Higgins +135. Chase is like -130, -140. I'll take possibly the best number 2 wide receiver in the league. In week 1, the entire offense stunk, as we know. 7 net yards in the second half. I'm just going to throw that week out. But last season, he had 10 touchdowns in 12 games. I mean, he had a 30.7% red zone target share. Again, he only played 12 games. But now facing the Jaguars, they were in the bottom 15 of touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. I think it's a get-right spot for Cincy's offense, but who knows early in the year. But that's my only bet for this game.
John?
Yeah, I think I agree definitely with the last part. Nature heals. Cincinnati is #fucking amazing at football. You know, that offense is going to be great. I think when we fast forward a couple weeks, we're going to look back and say the Cleveland defense is, one, much better than we were given credit for. And then 2, the Browns in general are better just functional, right? Because that's all they needed. They've had such disorder at QB. But anyway, to this one. So I think the Cleveland defense and Myles Garrett is he's got to be top 3 listed for DPOY. He should be. If he's not, that was something I was talking about. He just is a total game wrecker. So I think getting away from that is going to help. And the Jacksonville defense is definitely not very good. I'm not sure I would say the same for Cincinnati. That's the thing we wanted to keep the keen eye on, because last year that Bengal defense was horrific. This time around, they at least stopped the run. They were leaky in the secondary, as we expect. But the thing for me that I'm always looking for as a reception guy is, even though they got away from Sweet Lou, they still ran like a top 5 too high shell rate. So what happens is, right, when you're playing that kind of preventative stuff, the idea, long story short, you're trying to keep everything in front of you. A lot of times that opens up a lot of slot work. And that was like off the page last week. I always make sure when I do my data drops that I have a specific slot category. Bengals last week against the slot, 10, 127, and 1. Yikes. Travis Hunter, flip side, played a lot more than maybe some of us expected. I wasn't huge in him in fantasy. If he fell, I take him. But he ended up getting a ton of work, where, particularly in the slot, he ran 20 slot routes, earned 6 targets, made 4 catches. When I wrote it to you, Kyle, I think he was even money for 5 grabs. I probably moved that because I put that out to subs after I wrote it to you. So, but it's probably like minus 120, minus 125. So give me the Hunter grabs for sure. Because again, I think I'm with our boy here. I don't quite have my finger on the pulse of these games yet. I was talking about, listen, the spread market is very, very difficult. So I like to watch and look first. It didn't make my super contest one, though. Man, if the Bengals number keeps dropping, if we get 3s, I think I'm going to go Bengals -3 in the super contest, and then Travis Hunter to get 5 catches.
Yeah, I did bet Cincinnati, and I actually said almost that exact sentence last night, John. I said I probably should wait. I was impatient. I have a -3.5 plus 100.
Okay. Plus that's fine.
Yeah. Wow. Circa's actually up at 4 now, so maybe we're not going to get a 3, but. Yeah, so what we saw last week, I think at first glance, people are thinking that Jacksonville looked more impressive than Cincinnati did, and I disagree. Trevor Lawrence looked terrible, as Steve was talked about. He looked terrible. The reason the Jags won and controlled that game is they were able to run the football against probably the worst defense in the NFL in Carolina. This Bengals defense, although we perceive it to be terrible, and it very well may be terrible again this year, remember, they made a change at D.C., and in the first game, they shut the Browns' run game down. The Browns averaged 2 yards per carry in the game. Could do anything against the Bengals' defensive front. And on top of shutting the run game down, they pressured Joe Flacco on 37% of his dropbacks without blitzing. They had a 12% blitz rate. So basically, the story of last week was the Bengals' front 4 of the defensive line dominated the Browns' offensive line. Like, who had that on their bingo card, honestly? So the Bengals' front 4 absolutely dominated last week, and now they're back at home against a Jags team that we saw Trevor Lawrence really struggle under no pressure last week. He was not under pressure at all. He really struggled. Based on what we saw last week, the Bengals
suck.
I think he might be bad.
He sucks, doesn't he?
Yeah, based on what we saw last week, we should probably see some pressure from the Bengals defense. I don't know if the Jags can run it quite like that in this game because the Bengals defensive front seems to be playing well. It's only been 1 game, but I think the Jags might struggle a little bit offensively. But remember, on the other side of the ball, the reason I bet the Jags last week was because the new DC came out and said they're going to be playing a lot of zone coverage. Bryce Young's terrible against zone coverage. His numbers against zone are crazy. He's got good numbers against man coverage last year, but he was terrible against zone, and he's playing with all new wide receivers. How could he have any chemistry, find the holes in the zone with receivers he's never played with before? That's why I bet the Jags last week. They're going to come out and try to run zone here in Cincinnati. I can assure you, Joe Burrow knows how to beat the zone, and he's got plenty of chemistry with us. It's like the complete opposite of last week. He knows how to beat zone coverage, and he's got receivers he's thrown 1 billion passes to. Yeah, I'm not overreacting to what happened in Cleveland. The Bengals always struggle in Cleveland. The Browns defense always gives the Bengals problems. Honestly, that Browns defense gives everyone problems in that building. So yeah, I think the Bengals could win comfortably here. I did bet it. I'm not crazy about it. I really wish I could have gotten a 3. But yeah, I'm on Cincinnati.
Dude, those man zone splits are insane. for him.
Yeah.
They're insane. Like, they're
Talk about Bryce Young.
insane. How about this? His EPA against man was .93. That's like top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
His too high zone EPA was dead last.
You're talking about Bryce Young, right?
Oh no, I think you were talking about Trevor Lawrence.
Oh no! Oh wow! No, I was talking about why I played the Jags last week because the new DC is playing zone. So I was talking about Bryce Young, but his look like that though.
Yeah, Young has similar struggles. Not as good versus man. I mean, Lawrence is a little bit better. It helps to be 5 feet tall, or more.
John, also, I like that Travis Hunter one. I actually looked at under yards though for him, his ADOT and kind of where he's running on the field. My worry with him is they said he's going to play a lot more defense today. So I don't know what that does to his offense.
You get a good payday on the negative correlation. If you go over the receptions and under the yards, they pay extra for that. And there's a great chance. It would still, even with more defensive snaps, I'm not going up the ladder. 4 catches, 5 catches. I think he gets 5 for sure. He's like locked into every down roll as an underdog, And again, all that middle spots will be open. So I like that too. That'd be great, man. You get paid big on that.
John, what do you think of Believeland here on the road in Baltimore?
Well, I had to be careful on my show this morning because I'm really bullish on Cleveland. I don't think they're going to win this game because I think Baltimore's defense is better than it showed against a Buffalo team that is very, very good with Josh Allen's like, if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, we have like the 2 best players in a very long time going at the same time in the same game. So whatever you see against those teams, I think you got to be careful of. I was mentioned before why I like Cleveland. I think they have game wreckers and disruptors up front. The defense is better than we're giving credit for, and we already thought it was good. It looked really, really good. And Flacco was just competent. And you know what I respect about Stefanski is the ability to just say, this don't work. We're out. We're out. Expect them to abandon the run. They deemed Dylan Sampson competent enough in the pass game to do like the quick blitz pickup and release. He had fucking 8 grabs. So again, Cleveland, I think they know everything's going to be close to the line of scrimmage. They have some of the best close-up players in the league on a per-snap basis right now. Jerry Jeudy is a beast. And Njoku is a beast. And being outplayed by this rookie kid Fannin, who you probably know more about than I do, Kyle. As an ancillary pro guy, I see a little tape and stuff. I'm no prospect.
He broke all Bowling Green's records.
Dude, he looks ridiculous. That I do watch is the games afterwards. He looks ridiculous. He is a focal point of the offense, and they're running these. I don't even know what they call them. They probably have a much cooler name, but it's like a multiple layered mesh concepts. Because if you have 5 competent guys that are beasts running crossing routes all within 6 yards of each other, and then Sampson is the valve afterwards. So Flacco runs through quick progressions, and then the dump off to Sampson. They're a tough offense to flatten. I don't think they're going to be great because if you're not explosive, it's hard to be great. But I just think they're going to be a really fun underdog. I liked them at 12. I saw 12.5. People told me I shouldn't have liked 12.5 because it was going to 13. So, yeah, it's 12.5 now in DK. I like the Browns with the points. I don't think they win, but I think this is close all the way. And that's with all respect due to Baltimore. I think Baltimore is awesome. But I think they're going to struggle enough against a division rival.
Yeah, I'm on the other side, but but I have openly said throughout the week. I placed this one early on, and I've openly said throughout the week this is probably dumb, laying a big number in a division game. So, I mean, I'm not overly confident on it, but I do have this bet. So I disagree. I think the Browns are one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think that team sucks. What I was looking for was the Browns' offensive line finally healthy. Are they going to show me they could be a decent offensive line? Because the last couple of years, we perceived them to be good. They were just always injured. That was the story with the Browns. Hey, this offensive line could be good. They're just never.
Teller, right?
Yeah, well, Teller, Pocic. Well, he actually played last year, but Jedrick Wills, who's no longer there. Jones, the tackle. The last couple of years, the story for the Browns' offensive line has been, hey, this offensive line might be good if they could ever be healthy, and they're never healthy. Well, coming into this season, the Browns finally have a healthy offensive line. How do they open it up? Well, at home, they get dominated by the Bengals defensive line that didn't even blitz, still got pressure on Flacco, shut the run down. Is that not the ultimate, like, okay, this offensive line might suck. They're finally healthy, and the freaking Bengals come into their home stadium and with their front four just bully them around? That is not exactly an endorsement. And if this offensive line is going to be bad again, I think this team might suck all around. The Browns struggled to win the battles on the offensive line last week against Cincinnati. What the hell are they going to do here against probably the best run defense in the NFL?
I think the same thing, not run.
Yep.
Under all the attempts, right? Like that's what I'm under all the rushing Cleveland props. I'm under all the rushing attempt props.
Yeah.
Again, it's weird, like you said. It's so hard to cover 2 touchdowns sometimes because I could get some BSTD and look like I got it right.
It's a big number, but I don't think the Browns' offense is gonna do much here. Now I will say,
like 24-10, because that's a score. If you told me it was 24-10,
I don't think the Ravens' offense. I don't think the Ravens' offense is getting stopped at 24. But yeah, Flacco's numbers did look. He played slightly better than the numbers show. Those 2 interceptions were bullshit and not his fault. Both went off Cleveland receivers. So Flacco did play well, and he passed the eye test. He's accurate. But if he was under 30 pressure, 37% of his dropbacks against Cincinnati, Baltimore sending pressure, the run's not going to be there. And on the other side, guys, the Ravens averaged 9.3 yards per play in Buffalo last week. 9.3 yards per play. 9.3 yards per play is what Ohio State does to Akron. That is some wild shit. 9.3 yards per play.
Very school
in the last couple years, since Lamar Jackson has developed as a passer, this offense has really taken it up a notch. When they're on, they're unstoppable. And in the past, Lamar Jackson has struggled with this Cleveland defense, but let's not forget that Cleveland had one of the worst road defenses in the NFL last year. They're significantly better at home in Cleveland. Coming off the loss back at home, I don't think there's any reason they take the pedal off the floor here. I would. This is a big number, and it's a division game, but I think Baltimore can just steamroll them. So I did lay. I'm on 11.5 with Baltimore.
Okay, at least you beat the 12.
Yeah, key number of 12.
Whatever. We're gonna have to put that on the nighttime show when we do the theoreticals, because 2-point conversions throw off a lot of what we call key numbers. I think now, but
a little bit. Steve,
I gave this out on my video earlier this week, and this is going to be an absolute annihilation. And I'm not a guy who likes to take big spreads. I got -11 actually at -118 on BetMGM. But honestly, I think they absolutely crushed him. Lamar Jackson's been a double-digit favorite after a loss 3 times. He's won by 21, 24, and 14. He's going to take care of business here. This Browns defense, I don't know if Kyle mentioned it, they sucked on the road. They have been horrendous on the road. We're talking some huge home road splits here. We all know what happened in week 1. Big collapse, but this Ravens offense may not be stopped at all. I mean, their team total over is in play here. I think they could score 40 plus. Now we talk about the matchup. You talk about how the Browns look decent in week 1, but you got to remember it's a divisional game and they always play well against Cincinnati. Now the Ravens against Cleveland last year, they did not have problems against his defense like Cincinnati did. They scored 29 and 35 points. One game they rushed, Lamar and Henry rushed for over 200 yards. Browns had 0 sacks in one game. This is not as good of a matchup for Cleveland, and I think that matters when it comes to divisional games. Again, Ravens won 35-10 last meeting in Baltimore. I think Flacco's going to have a little bit of a down game here. I think this defense is not what we saw in week 1. They are not going to be able to stop the Ravens. Like I said, I'd never bet these big lines here, but I think the Ravens win by 20 plus, and it's an absolute blowout.
I was not expecting you to take the Ravens with me, Steve.
You feel better now. Damn.
It's just weird. How many times this entire year, last year, did me and Steve take double-digit favor? Like, we both take them in the same week. What about Toast?
I'm definitely not going to be on the square side like you guys laying 15 points. No, I'm just kidding. I played over personally. I think that for one, I know that obviously like Myles Garrett and that Browns defense is a little bit better than people give them credit for, but I think that Lamar Jackson's mobility is going to help, but it's more a fact that you have the Ravens who scored 30 points in 12 out of 15 and 15 out of their last 18 games. So I don't think you really have to worry about the Ravens scoring. And then on top of that, you're talking about a Browns team that I'm not going to debate football with you guys because you guys are way ahead of me. But from what I'm reading out, I have the right written down. The Browns were 9 for 16 on 3rd down, 2 for 3 on 4th down. If they're even half of that this week. I think they're going to put some points on the board, not to mention the fact that they have a kicker that missed a 40-yarder last week and an extra point. So if there's a chance that these guys, if Stefanski doesn't want to put the onus on the kicker and they're going to be going for it on 4th down, that might give us a couple extra points as well on a couple conversions. So it would only be over for me. I actually might place this bet.
Only Toast can give out an over and make the kicker part of his analysis.
I'm just saying, if the guy can't trust him, you're going to be going for it on 4th down. And I mentioned that they had success with it last week. I tied it all together.
Also, I don't expect the Ravens to take the foot off the gas pedal this time after what happened last week. That's why I also like this. I think they just boat race him to the end.
Boat race him.
Now, what's worse, a dog walk or a boat race?
A dog walk's worse.
Okay.
On a leash, it's humiliating.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I never really got that. I enjoy it, a good boat race. I guess.
Boat race could be fun. You could lose a boat race and have fun still.
Yeah. We have
that was a fun race.
Cooler, right?
You're not going to get fun getting walked like a dog.
Yeah. Even
well, I suppose if you're into that.
Yeah. I'm not going there. We'll have to say that for the night.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think this is the most difficult game on the board.
Not me.
I think the play is the Giant. I don't have to. Don't worry. I didn't bet.
Kyle, what are you doing?
The viewers are like, he's not about to put the Giants up. I don't. I think there's a little bit of overreaction of what we saw in week 1. I think we saw the Cowboys' best fastball against the Super Bowl hangover team, and they still didn't win. I think that's the best the Cowboys could possibly play. This defense doesn't have a lot of talent on it. I'll let you guys go first. I really struggle with this one. So I'm Steve, you want to bat lead off here?
I'll just go real quick. I mean, I don't love a side here, but legally my financial advisor said I cannot back the Giants anymore. And Kyle, he's going to be calling you too, because you got to stop this madness. I hope you don't put a bet on him. But either way, I mean, I don't like this one at all. I'd have to go Cowboys here. But again, we're going off week 1. Can the Giants keep up with anybody on offense? We may have even seen Jackson Dart coming in the second half if Russell Wilson has a bad first half. But with this offensive line, which I thought was going to be improved for the Giants, there's nothing I can do to back this team right now. So I just have one touchdown prop here in this one. Javonte Williams.
Let's play the song.
Let's play the song.
Anytime, touching it down, scoring it, running around. It's the anytime, touchdown, scoring. Anytime you need touchdown. Yeah.
All right.
Javonte Williams, anytime TD, plus 105. I was completely wrong about his usage and how he was going to look in week 1. 15 carries, 3 red zone rush attempts, turned that into 2 touchdowns. Both were 1-yard runs, which obviously means this team trusts him at the goal line. Miles Sanders had 2 red zone rush attempts. He also fumbled. We'll see how many carries he gets here. I'm expecting another 14-plus carries. Giants defense in week 1, 220 rushing yards, giving up 2 rushing touchdowns. Anytime you get a number 1 running back on a team like Javonte Williams at plus 105, I mean, you got to at least consider it. So I like him for a touchdown. But sidewise, I'm with you, Kyle. This is a stay away big time.
I have a question. Turnbuckle Tommy, I'm with you. It seems like everybody in the world's betting Dallas, and now the line has moved down to 4.5.
I know. The Giants are the play. I don't have the nutsack to do it.
Well, you can put up Brandon Aubrey over 8.5 kicking points for me, guys. Listen, yo, John, write this down. Anytime you look on that board and you see an 8.5 on the kicking market, it is an automatic over. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to research it. As long as they're giving you 8.5 at minus 110 or better, it is a set it and forget it winner.
What are you talking about, dude?
Yo, I said it on your show every week last week, and you all laughed at me, and everybody was loving me. So again,
well, I think for a team, I don't know about blind, but a team like Dallas is probably blind. Like, I bet you there's an implied implied team total argument there. Like, if you added one more condition, maybe not. Well, if they're saying they're all good, I mean, you do pay attention to this shit. So
yeah, Cowboys team
total. Maybe I should just learn my place. Okay, who are these people? 25. Who are these people betting on the Giants? And I'd like to know if they're available to play poker with me later on. Stop it! Stop your fucking nonsense, everybody. There are times when we have to say, as a public, we've just jumped the fucking shark. It just got announced. Andrew Thomas is out. The Giants with Russell Wilson are fucked. They have no chance today. Dallas went punch for punch with the Eagles in the second half. They got their ass kicked out of the box by a far superior team. Buckled down, looked great. Dak looked excellent. They dropped a shit ton of balls. And in fact, I think it was the largest amount of air yards dropped. What happened last week would have been larger than any game last year. It's not going to happen again. That shit ain't sticky. Dallas is going to absolutely destroy the Giants. I don't know who's betting on them. I like this one the second it went to -5.5 and cleared that 6. I was on it for Super Contest. It feels like every half an hour I keep resetting it because they let you keep this. Like they let you get CLV in Super Contest. If you're late, you could just re-click it. So I don't care if I'm bucking the market. Sometimes, whatever, you can kiss my fat ass. Giants gave up 6.6 yards per play. They had one of the worst success rates in the league. And despite Javonte not being super explosive, he had a 70% success rate. If you can pick up legit 3.5 to 4 yards every single carry, you're going to go over your attempts, you're going to go over your rush yards, and you're going to get that touchdown that we were just talking about. And it's going to be the worst and most boring way to cash overs, but it's going to happen. The Giants could not stop anyone. They are bottom 5 across the board. Defensive rush success, EPA per snap, yards before contact per rush, yards after contact per rush, explosive rush rate. They are absolutely terrible. They're going to get smoked. They play a ton of man. There's no way you're going to be able to cover CD, playing cover 1. And Pickens at the same time, this one could and should. I really think it's ugly. Like, I like all the Dallas. Dallas team total, Dallas to cover, Dallas like all to cover. I don't get this line at all.
Well, I think everyone's reacting to the first few series there in the Cowboys-Eagles game. Keep in mind, the Cowboys had like 60 yards of offense in the second half, and they had they had about 15 scripted plays that worked, and after that, they were terrible. That was against the Eagles on a Super Bowl hangover without their best defensive player. Not to mention the Cowboys always play the Eagles tough, and the Giants have played the Cowboys tough plenty of times. I just think there's a lot of reactions to 1 week here coming into the season. We didn't think these two teams were far apart. I mean, the Cowboys are projected to be a 8-9 win team. They have 2 or 3 good drives in one game, and the Giants do look terrible. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, these teams aren't even close. I think there's a lot of reacting to 1 week going on. I don't think the Cowboys. I'm putting the Giants up. I don't think the Cowboys are very good. I think they had some tricky scripted play. Remember, it's a new coaching staff. Well, kind of a new coaching staff. Sean Nahman was there, but it's a new coaching staff. I think the Cowboys went against the Super Bowl champions, and they had some scripted plays up that caught them off guard. After those first 3 drives, the Cowboys did nothing. They got dominated. I don't think this team's good. The offensive line isn't good. The defense has no talent on it. The Giants are awful. But I don't think the Cowboys are much better, honestly. They had a few scripted plays that worked early in the game, then they did nothing. So, yeah, only be the Giants for me.
You back in the Giants is not what I thought was going to happen today. I thought it was opposite.
Even at 4.5. At 6, I think you could sell me, and I think you did a good job of selling it. But man, now we're getting a little too close. That's where it really lost.
Open up that Cowboys-Eagles game and look what they did after the 3rd drive. It was like, oh shit!
The Eagles, even without Carter, the Eagles have probably the best roster in the NFL. I get. He's a game record. He's the man. The point is not to demean Carter. It's just that they're still
the
really damn good.
The Giants
the Cowboys
Washington,
played them nose to nose, and I think the Giants with Russell Wilson look. He's the worst starting quarterback in the league. I'd much rather have Spencer Rattler than Russell Wilson. Like, that's not even close.
I mean, the Giants played Washington, the team that played the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, well, listen. Well, Washington, people are worried about them right now too. But I think they're a good team also.
Rams, Titans. John, why don't you go first?
Audible sigh. I really wanted the Titans to be great. Now, not like out of the box. I thought they'd come out like clicking, looking strong, and then, a lot of the worst case scenarios feel like they've popped up. And again, I hate talking about drops because I really don't believe they're sticky, but like Ridley didn't help the case. And I think that probably overexposed maybe a lack of talent for Tennessee. Though, again, I was mentioning matchups before, and having to beat Denver and Surtain is not easy. So you want to give a little credit to them.
John, everybody in the world talked about the Titans last week, like you talked about the Giants, and they went into Denver in Mile High and covered, and probably could have won that game without drops. And now you're acting like they're one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it looked really bad.
They covered. They could have won the game.
So they were terrible.
Yo.
I mean, it was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, you're right. That's
no.
Dude, don't listen to the
and that's how we need to look
John,
at these
do
things?
not listen to the kicker guy. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, I bet the Titans last week, and everybody laughed at me then too. So keep laughing. Go ahead.
They created for me. This is about the defense, the front seven that I've kind of really liked the past few years. I think we've seen them kind of degrade. They're also injured. They created no pressure, and to me, that's like the number one thing in defeating the Rams. So. Yeah, you could be good at stopping the run all you want. The Rams don't really care. They have Kyron Williams. Like, he's just there to get 2 and 3 yards at a time and maybe run a play action here and there. He's great at pass protection. He's not the center point at all on that offense. So I think, like I was mentioning before, the Rams are going to be fine kind of sacrificing Williams on a couple runs here and there. If you don't get to Stafford, he's going to pick you apart. Pookie Bear looks like
with a bad back
players in the league,
With a bad back.
I'm tired of this.
But it's the same. Listen, his neck, his back, his pussy, and his crack. We've heard it all from Stafford over the years. But he always seems to freaking be fine. Dude, I remember this being a problem with, like, other teams. We were worrying about the guy's back. He was on a podcast. This is before. I remember worrying about him and his wife on a podcast before 2024 season. I think he should retire. There's spinal issues. And he just goes out and fucking balls. When he's on the field, you roll with staff. The Puka thing is crazy. The connection is crazy. The Adams utilization was also off the charts. I know that some of the fantasy geeks were panicking. You shouldn't panic. Adams is an every down alpha. They're both probably going to go off against the Titans. I just don't think the Titans have the firepower to keep up or catch up. And I think with all the maturation that's got to go on offense – yeah, I don't know. I think they get killed today.
Toast.
I have the Rams as a Super Bowl.
Toast disagrees.
I completely disagree, and maybe it's just because I'm not a football guy, but okay, let's just say if Agumbawale or whatever doesn't fumble that ball for the Texans last week, are we really looking at this Rams team like a juggernaut or a 5.5-point favorite?
But that was Denver.
On the road?
That was at their worst. Knicks was a
now they're gonna and now Stafford with a bad back's gonna get better in a week and then travel across the country and look better. That's what you're telling me?
Get better. He was fine last week.
No, they played one of the top defenses in the league last year.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Make sure you put up the Rams -5.5.
And he was great. He had a 73% completion rate, 8.4 YPA, 5 deep shots completed. I mean, Stafford was good.
Toast, did you sign a marketing deal with the Titans? Like, you just been repping them hard.
I don't understand it. Everybody talked about how bad the Titans were. And how this is a terrible spot for Cam Ward. There's no way he's going to go into Denver and do all this. And John talked about it when he started. If it wasn't for drops, they could have won that football game. I'm not trying to make
Toast, they had like 130 yards of offense in the game.
And they still could have won the football game on the road. I'm just saying, like, you guys act like they were absolutely terrible. Titans up. I bet the Titans this week. Let's go. Go ahead.
Titans up. Hashtag Titans up.
Cam Ward is the truth.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, my. Okay, can I jump in here?
Yeah, please.
Listen. The Titans created 4 turnovers last week, and
so you bet the Rams. You're betting the Rams.
No, I didn't. They got 4 turnovers last week and still scored 13 points. 4 turnovers. They got out-yarded by 200 yards. I think because you got a slight cover, you were high on them.
No, I think that Denver is 2 times better than the Rams defense that they're going to see. And now Cam Ward's at home. This is a major step down in class for Cam Ward.
Now, listen, I'm not on a side, so I'm not going to sit here and say that what I'm on. I have 2 bets. The first one is the under. I don't think we see any points in this one. This line's been moving down. I think it was like 44.5. We had a 23 to 32 point total for both of these teams, but I think both have underrated defense. I will say this about the Titans. I liked them last year, but they had so many injuries. And then Rams defense obviously held the Texans to 9 points, 23.5% pressure rate. I think Jared Verse and these boys get after him. They took Nico Collins completely out of the game. They may have a pretty sneaky good defense this year. And then Titans, we saw what they did. Maybe they're lucky. Maybe they're a good defense. They had 4 turnovers. They created 4 turnovers. That's impressive. Held Denver to 20 points. Similar pressure rate to the Rams last week as well. Like I said, I was high on them last year. Up front, they're good. Sweat, Simmons, Draymond Jones. They are good up front, this Titans defense. And then Cam Ward in this offense. I know you're saying they look good. They didn't even hit 150 total yards last week. Not even 150. You know how terrible that is in an NFL game? And then Rams, I think they have a conservative game here. They want to get in, get the win in week 1 or in week 2 here on the road. But if you are worried about the Rams on the East Coast and all that, McVay 17-8-2 straight up, 18-9 against the spread playing on the East Coast. They do not have a problem with that. So I really like this to just be a defensive, ugly under 42 game. And then my second one, real quick, probably my second favorite player prop. John was just talking about it. Puka Nacua over 6.5 receptions. What are we doing with this line?
First quarter.
Yeah, this guy is an absolute beast. 10 receptions on 11 targets, and that was against a good Texans defense. 38% target share. And if you watch the Rams, which is crazy, they're not a team that spreads it around. Only 2 guys had more than 2 targets, him and Devontae Adams. It's literally...
Dude, he only ran 22 routes. He had 11 targets.
It's every single play goes to him. Last season with Stafford, over this line in 8 of 13 games, averaged 7 receptions per game. He actually had 8 or more receptions in 5 of those 8. Now facing the Titans, who I believe have a solid defensive line. I think L'Jarius Sneed, he was questionable last time I saw. Even if he plays, he's on a snap count here. It doesn't even matter. I mean, you saw Cortland Sutton had 6 receptions versus Tennessee. What I love about Puka, John mentioned it actually. For a guy who's not catching passes around the line of scrimmage, he is extremely efficient. Him and Matthew Stafford have an incredible connection where Stafford has a really high completion percentage to him. I think we get a pretty neutral game script. I'm not too worried about that. So I like the under and Puka over. But saying that the Titans look good last week is I can't buy that.
That's insane.
I forgot to drop mine just really quick. There's my guy, Ayamaner. He's at 3 catches for even money. He ran like 28 to 30 routes. He's basically an every down player. He earned 7 targets, a quarter of the team target share. So anytime you can kind of get, you know, you have your underdog in place, they're going to be throwing. He's a focal point again. And I kind of like the secondary focal point when I'm looking for receptions because Ridley and Pollard are really going to soak up the majority of the attention. And I think an opposing team is going to let a guy like Ayman or a rookie beat them. So anytime 3 catches for a full-time player at even money is always, you know, something you could consider.
So what we have here is a case of final scores not being the true story of how the teams played. I mean, the Titans offense looked, you know what, where Toast is right is the Titans defense looks very strong. And if you're a Titans guy, clearly Toast signed a marketing deal with them or something. I don't know why he's repping the Titans so hard, but if you're a Titans person, you're pumped about the defense because the offense did them no favors last week in terms of field position, in terms of time of possession. The offense pretty much gave the ball right back every single time, and the defense still went into Denver and held the Broncos to 4.8 yards per play. So the Titans defense might be official, and if you're betting the Titans here, you're pointing all the way at the defense. The offense was next level bad, 3.7 yards per play. Cam Ward looked every bit like a rookie. I mean, it was bad offensively. Yeah.
But by the way, real quick, you have Rams minus 5.5, I think, up for me. My best bet is the under 42.
My bad. You did say that. So I'll switch that now. So yeah, the Titans offense looked terrible. Where I think what's kind of being swept under the rug, you look at the final score in that Rams-Texans game in the opener. See, the Rams had 14 points, and you might think, the Rams offense, looks bad. Houston shut them down. It's not at all what happened. The Rams averaged 6.1 yards per play in the game. Success rate over 46%. If you watch the game, they were driving the ball consistently. Their 14 points came on 2 touchdown drives where they went the length of the field. And then there were 3 other occasions. They fumbled on the Houston 12. They punted from the Houston 39. They punted from the Houston 49. So in addition to 2 long touchdown drives, they drove the ball into Houston territory several times. The Houston defense was struggling to stop the Rams offense. It's kind of crazy that the game ended with 14 points for the Rams. That offense was moving the football, and I expect Houston.
They're scared, right?
What's up?
The offense played very scared.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't finish drives, and Houston's got a very good defense.
I meant from a play calling aspect.
I'm putting the under up. You know what? I'll put the Rams up. I think the Titans might be a fade for the early portion of the season. I'm sorry, Toast. I didn't know you were a fan. But it'll
I'm
be
not. I
only
just
be
like
Rams.
that everybody tells me I'm wrong.
Hey, quick question: Do you get only Titans games there in Alaska? Is that the only thing?
No, it's just going into last week. Everybody told me how good Denver was and how hard of a spot this was for the Titans, and they had no chance, none. Now here we are again, same story, different day.
All right. There you have it. The Titans man has spoken.
I'm just saying.
John, what do you think of Bills Jets?
Oh my God, I think I hate the Jets, man. I hate all my favorite sports teams. I guess you eventually come to get there. I think the public is probably a little higher on the Jets than they should be. That game last week with the Steelers, just all it did was mislead everybody in every single direction. There were not nearly enough plays run, in that game to justify like any kind of bullishness on these offenses. I know Justin Fields, he was okay, but even the passing stuff was not great. It's weird. He's a very polarizing guy. 22 attempts, 16 completions for 212 feels like the Justin Fields line. And is he going to be able to get away with the running? I don't know. The Buffalo defense, I was kind of high on coming into the season. I thought they were going to be really good. Of course, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens can kind of humble anybody. So this is a really good litmus test for them, although I think it doesn't work out well for the Jets, the timing playing after the Ravens, because the Jets are like a Temu version of the Ravens, right? If the Ravens are the high-end first result on Amazon that I can't afford, then I'm going to get the Temu shit, that comes and you got like a Photoshop picture of it on the front. I'm not sure. I'm just having a hard time believing in the Jets offense. Like you got points, but maybe I'm just not too high on Fields. Maybe it's me. He's got to do a little more for passing, where I know Allen is technically like a running quarterback too. He slings it, man. He could sling it, and they have good complementary pieces. Like there's no real true alpha kind of dog in Buffalo, waiting to be seen. Jury's still out on Keon Coleman, who I tend to like. Did he end up on my list? I think I keep forgetting all of my plays. Yeah, he's plus 110 for 4 catches. I think that's in the bag. If you think the Jets defense is even a shred of what we saw last week, we just didn't think, speaking from a fan's point of view, we didn't think the secondary was going to get torched the way they did. 136.7 passer rating allowed, 8 yards after contact per reception, and 5 deep shots completed. Just, you're not expecting that from a defense. You want to be good. I know week to week can be a little wonky, but I'm worried for the Jets. I'm surprised this number was as close as it was. I think Buffalo kind of beats them up. They're a complete team. Markets now move. That's gone from 6 to 6.5 during the day today. I wouldn't be surprised if it closed at 7.
No, John, Buffalo's it's going the other way. It's going the other way. Sharps are buying up.
Oh, yeah. It looks like there's Jets money coming in.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
all down.
I got 6.5 DK. Is it 5.5 anywhere? Because it was 6 this morning.
It's 5.5 on Caesars right now. It's moving down.
5.5.
This is a heavy.
Circa's down to 5.5 too.
I was just gonna say I don't read the NFL market like Kyle does, but this looks like a pros versus Joe's games. It looks like all the bets and no money are on the Bills, and small amount of bets and all the money.
Pros versus John.
Pros versus John.
I mean, I'm being facetious, but I was gonna let Kyle go off of that. But
yeah. I don't know about those numbers, but I am on the Jets here at plus 6.5. I was already leaning Jets. I talked about it in the video, how I was considering Jets. I actually ended up pulling the trigger at plus 6.5. Jets offense looked good in week 1. How much do we take away from that? I get it. But this Bills defense looked terrible, and they're coming into this off the game of the year on Sunday Night Football. Then they immediately go to MetLife, a place where the offense always struggle. I mean, Josh Allen's career numbers in this building are not good. He's got like an 83 career QB rating. And guys, we've seen this movie before where the Bills look unstoppable. Josh Allen looks unstoppable. They go into MetLife against a Jets team that we all perceive to be bad. And everyone's like, they're going to rip the Jets apart. And then he struggles. Like, we've seen this movie. He's gone there 6 times. We keep seeing the same movie over and over again. He really struggles against the Jets. I mean, his career in MetLife, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. The Jets just always seem to play him tough. I don't know what it is about.
I was at the Rodgers game, that opening game. They blew it. They straight up blew that game. You're right.
Yeah,
they were only 1.5 point favorites last year too. That's the only reason they covered that game versus the Jets.
Yeah, but yeah, Allen always seems to struggle in MetLife, and to come off that huge game with a hobbled defense that played like ass in the first. I mean, the Ravens averaged 9.3 yards per play. They did whatever they wanted on this Buffalo defense, and they're coming into this one with no Ed Oliver. They're extremely thin at corner. Teron Johnson is out. Tre'Davious White's going to play. He hasn't played a game for the Bills in 2 years. That's their main corner. They're extremely thin at corner here. Oh, no, they have Benford. I'm sorry. No, they're not. They have Benford's the main corner. Tre'Davious White's number 2. There's no Ed Oliver on the offensive line. Shaq Thompson's not playing. I don't trust this Bills defense. And what Justin Fields did last week, look, is that an anomaly? Maybe. But what he did was he pieced the Steelers up from a clean pocket. Every time Justin Fields had a clean pocket, he made the Steelers pay for it. He had like a 120 QB rating from a clean pocket. Why am I bringing that up? Because Lamar Jackson did the same shit to Buffalo. Every time the Bills gave Lamar Jackson a clean pocket, it was very clear they were incapable of covering. And that's exactly what the Jets did to the Steelers. I think the Jets are going to move the ball in this game. Look, I'm not expecting Josh Allen to suck or anything like that. Jets defense certainly didn't look good in the opener, but we've seen the movie before. Jets look like shit. Josh Allen looks unstoppable. He goes into MetLife, and somehow it comes down to the wire. Yeah, I'm on the plus 6.5. Jets up.
That kind of puts you on the over, right? Also, just the way
I
you're
was
talking
leaning
about
over,
it.
yeah.
I'm buying. Yeah, listen, I think you make great points. I'm just, as I think through it, it sounds like that would go to an over if we went that way.
Yeah, on the video that I uploaded, I said Jets are over. And then this morning,
yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly,
that
there was a bunch of people in the group chat that are like in on the Jets. Like, let's bet the Jets. So I was like, screw it, I'm in. And so I ended up winning. But I was like kind of just like jumping in with the group.
Who needs cocaine and helicopters when you can bet on the Jets?
Exactly. But I'm on plus 6.5. Steve, are you with me?
I am. I didn't make the bet, but I like the Jets here. And sometimes a handicap for these divisional games is how do they match up with them? And if you know what, the Jets are a team that plays the Bills well. You saw it with the Browns and Bengals last week. When you have divisional games, some teams just play them well. They focus on matching up with these teams all offseason because they're in the division. I did not make this bet, but I do like the Jets. I don't know if I'd place the bet under 6, though. I don't know what Kyle thinks, but I'd want to get at least 6 here, obviously being a key number. But, you know, Bills defense, maybe they're not that good this year. It's just the Ravens. So time will tell. I'm not ready to commit to that yet. But I definitely I agree with what Kyle said on the Jets side. Probably my favorite player prop of the whole weekend is this one. Breece Hall over 79.5 rush plus receiving yards, minus 115. I got this.
That's rush plus receiving?
Rush plus receiving, yeah.
I made the graphic wrong.
So last week I wasn't sure. How much is Braylon Allen going to play? How much is going to eat into Breece Hall? I am no longer worried. If you guys watched that game, Breece Hall looked like his old self. He looked absolutely explosive, breaking tackles. He had a total of 145 total yards last week at Pittsburgh. I just need like a little over half of that to cash this one. And a few things that make me love this bet is he had 4 targets, 19 rush attempts. When you're getting over 20 touches for a guy like him, and in fact, here's a crazy stat. In the 9 games, that's 8 last year and week 1, that he has had 14 or more carries, he is over this line in all 9 games. His rush attempts line right here is set at 13.5 again. Now he faces the Bills defense who, you know, I really don't, like I said, I don't think this is a blowout. The line is just under 7. I think we get a closer game, but Bills in week 1, we know, gave up a nice 169 rush yards, 13 receiving yards to Henry. Henry's not a pass catcher, obviously. So last part I also really love here is the Bills last year, they gave up the most receiving yards to running backs in the entire NFL. Hall had 56 receiving yards in a game versus Buffalo last year. And second game, he wasn't really even a part of the offense. But I like the combo line here. If the Bills do pull away, I think we can get a ton of receiving yards from Breece Hall. So with what I saw from him in week 1, 80-plus rush and receiving does not seem like a lot here against this Bills defense. So probably my favorite player prop. That and Puka at least are tied, but I lean Jets too on the side.
What's the line?
79.5 is what I got it at for rush.
I'm right. You know what? I'm a smidge over that, but also I do 2 sets of projections. I do a boring mean projection that's anchored to the book. And then I do one like match projection. I'm over it on my mean, boring projection. I love that because he's game script independent. That's always been one of the things you love about Hall for the combination prop because no matter what, he's the lion's share either way. He can make 8 grabs and get you 80, or he could get 18 carries and get you 80. That's a good play.
Yep.
Toast, are you on the Jets or another home dog here, or are you only repping the Titans set?
No, I tailed you with the Jets as soon as you posted. I like it. I like the fact that we're getting it. I also like Nick Folk. I'm sorry to make you type, but over 5.5 kicking points at minus 128. John, you can laugh, but if you didn't know, Nick Folk has just been an
I
absolute
can't believe it's 5.5 points. I feel like an idiot. I don't know anything about kicker markets
him
right
and
now.
Joey Sly, respecting the veteran kickers of this league, I will not have it, and we will stand against this on this show.
Is it expensive, the 5.5? Is it like minus 150 though?
No, it's minus 128, minus 130. Doesn't really matter. The books are sleeping at the wheel in this market, guys. I keep trying to tell you that. Nick Folk, 2003, 96.7%. In 2004, 95.4%. He's 1-1 this year, or 2-2 this year. Nick Folk has been one of the best kickers in the NFL for a while now.
You almost said Major League Baseball.
I almost did it, but I caught myself. I'm still in that mode. But he truly has been one of the best kickers in the league. And if we're getting a game where all these guys consider that we're going to get points, I just moved on Folk over kicking points. And I also played the Jets with Kyle.
Wait, I don't understand. Do they? That's the line is messing with me. I guess I don't.
That's what I'm saying, John. They're sleeping at the wheel. I've been talking about this for a year and a half, and everybody wants.
And no one's been listening for a year and a half.
Okay, hold on. And again, I'm very anchored. I'm very anchored in the books because I do projections and all that algo, all the nerdy model stuff. You have to be aware of the posted line, right? You have to give respect where it's due. The Jets team total right now is 20.5, 102.
Correct.
So the assumption is just they scored 3 touchdowns. That's not how 21s were. You know what I'm saying? That's not how football and 21s work. And the Jets are not like this prolific touchdown scoring offense. They feel like a field goal offense to me. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. 5.5 just really kind of hit me.
This was the same line Joey Sly had last week on the road. We cashed this in the first half. Don't even worry about it.
Joey Sly, like who is that? That's such a wrestling
kicker, John. Tennessee kicker. Add that to your spreadsheet.
So, by the way, for those listening, we've moved on to Detroit. I'm just going to go first because it'll be quick. The number's gone. I got Detroit at minus 4.5. It would still be Detroit at 6.5. Obviously, we're crossing into some dangerous waters here at 6.5. But I think part of the reason it moved up, maybe they took some Lions money, but I think it also moved up when we saw how good Green Bay's defense looked against Washington Thursday night. So I think that also moved the line as well because there was a lot of doubt about Jared Goff and the Detroit offense last Sunday. If you remember, although everything was being shared on Twitter about Goff's record without McVay and Ben Johnson, and the talk of the town was how bad Jared Goff looked and how this the Lions window might be done and all that. But then we saw Green Bay absolutely smoke Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, and that's an offense that I think we all perceive will be dangerous this year. They couldn't do shit against Green Bay. So I think the overall perception of the Lions offense has changed from this offense is terrible to, okay, Green Bay might have an elite defense. So I think the change of perception there moved the market a little bit, and it certainly made me more comfortable in my position on Detroit. Personally, there's a couple things I like there from Detroit in the opener. I know, how did you like anything from that opener? In the second half, Detroit's defensive line really started winning some battles. Green Bay had a big lead at that point, so it kind of got swept under the rug. But Packers were struggling to run the ball in the second half. And in the first half, they were just doing whatever they wanted. Jordan Love had all day to throw in the pocket. It was just a beatdown of the Lions defense. In the second half, yeah, they were down 2-3 scores. But, I mean, all of a sudden, Jacobs wasn't ripping off big gains anymore, and the Packers' offense slowed down. So the Lions' defensive front looked like it just needed a couple quarters to get going. There is still talent there. Even with an injured McNeil, there's still talent on that Lions' defensive front. So you like that if you're a Detroit fan. This Bears offense gives you nothing to – I mean, Caleb Williams, man, looks like him and Ben Johnson are going to need a few weeks before we could count on them to do anything because the way they lost that game Monday night was embarrassing. So I think the Lions' defensive front can play well. Remember, they've added DJ Reed in the secondary. But reality, the last thing I want to say here is going back to Jared Goff. Here, I feel like I am not going to close the book on Jared Goff until I see him struggle at home in this dome. Because him struggling in Lambeau doesn't really throw any. He always struggles outdoors. That's something we've been talking about for years. I mean, even when the Lions were unstoppable, scoring 40 points a game, like his 2 bad games were outdoors. So the fact that he struggled at Lambeau, look, it's concerning, and clearly the interior offensive line for the Lions is a concern this year. But until he struggles in a dome, it's still business as usual. And I'm going to have to. If they struggle in this game against the Bears defense in the dome, then yeah, things might be over there, and we might be looking into a new era here for Detroit, and that elite offensive era might be over. But until Goff struggles in the dome, I'm with it. Yeah, I'm on the Lions minus 4.5. I shouldn't have talked this long because the number's gone, but yeah, I'm on Detroit. John?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you 100%. Really pivotal game for the Bears. I know we all, speaking for us fantasy guys, we were so excited about the Ben Johnson stuff and all the kind of weaponry, expected them to come out firing. Those first 15 scripted plays looked like we were like fast track to let's go. And they fell flat immediately. As soon as that was over, they fell really flat. Credit to the defense on the other side. But I think the worries about Caleb are warranted. There was one throw in particular. I hate to like single out little pieces, but there was a wide open throw that he missed that was so far overthrown for a touchdown that you just like, man, the really great quarterbacks, we don't miss so bad. Listen, everybody misses, but no one misses not so bad. I'm worried. I kind of like the Bears deal with you. I don't think they're bad. The stylistics that they came out with last week, if you try and repeat that against Goff, you're going to get served in the dome. I'll go that far. We're talking bottom 5 blitz rate, but that translated into a bottom 5 pressure rate, right? It's different. Some teams can get pressure without sending the blitz, all those kind of disguise schematics and all that, whatever, stuff, the late movement or whatever. That was not the case. Chicago did not put any pressure on the quarterback. And I think you can't let Goff operate, especially Chicago played a crazy amount of cover 1. You can't play cover 1 with no blitz against Detroit in particular, because allowing Goff to operate routes to develop Jameson Williams in line for a tremendous game today, I think. So I'm kind of with you. That being north of 6 kind of is always going to give you the ick when you could get 6. I do see -6, -110 on DK, which is probably the bet that I like the most. But I'm really worried about the Bears, and we might be talking about another, kind of not to throwaway year, but another kind of like developmental year.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm leaning Lions -6 too. I haven't made the bet yet, but I think Caleb Williams sucks, guys. I mean, it really doesn't. It's not just on one game this week. It's on last year. He's got bad footwork. He's not looking downfield. He's missing wide open guys. I know he got sacked 5,000 times last year. It seems like it's affecting him. The game looks a little too fast for him, to be honest with you. And when he finally has a guy open, like he said, he's an inaccurate passer. He throws it over a lot. You've seen all those practice videos of him, missing the hole in the net like over and over and over. I just don't think he's very good. And, he'll improve. He had one good scripted drive play early in the game, but I'm just not a fan of him. So until they have even a pretty good quarterback, I don't know how you can take them here on the road in Detroit. Like Kyle mentioned, much better in a dome, much better at home. Also, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, how about 19-8 against the spread after a loss together? They've won 10 straight against the spread after a loss. I know last year they were better and all that. O-line's not quite the same, but this Bears defense, you just watched the fourth quarter, they were ran all over by Jordan Mason, and that is a worry for their defense. So I'm not going to overreact by one bad game in Green Bay. I think Lions are just the better team, and I'm just not a Caleb Williams guy. But my best bet in this game, David Montgomery over 12.5 receiving yards. This is a line that was a cash cow last season for him. In the last 10 games, dating back to last year, he's over in 8 of the last 10. Over in 8 straight regular season games, he has 18-plus receiving yards in 8 straight, 30-plus receiving yards in 4 of the last 5. Goff loves to check it down. We saw in week 1, Monty had 4 catches on 4 targets. He has 3-plus targets and 7 of 8. Again, we need 13 yards. 3 targets should be good. He has a total of 22 catches on 23 targets in that span. And in his last game against the Bears, 3 catches, 36 yards. In the 2 head-to-head meetings in 2023, 19 and 23 receiving yards. Bears defense last week gave up 44 receiving yards to Aaron Jones. He's over this in 3 straight, over in 8 regular season games. It's just flat out too low. I mean, it takes 1 catch and you get 13 yards for him. So I like Monty over his receiving yards. Now, running back receiving yards can be a little, I don't know if there's a comparison in baseball, but it's a little hit and miss sometimes. But he's just been really consistent. He's going to get a few checkdowns and just need 13 yards here. But I definitely lean Lions here.
Saints just took some money. It's about to drop below 3. It looks like crazy. Toast.
Okay, so I didn't bet the Bears, but you can put the Bears up for me. I'm not a football guy, but I can research. And you're showing none of you guys talked about the Lions offense that averaged 3.8 yards a play last week. I get they were outside. Blah, 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 blah. But they created, let me see, where is it? 10 explosive plays. That's the 3rd lowest rate in the NFL. They have a center that's moving to the new position, and they have 2 new guards that aren't really great. That offensive line is absolutely terrible. I mean, and that was the other thing that my uncle brought this up. This isn't me, but everybody loved Johnson or whatever as the offensive coordinator. Detroit used pre-snap motion last year at almost 60%, 60% of their plays. Last week, they only ran pre-snap motion 38%. So maybe they can't do all the things they want with that line and all that stuff. And Goff was pressured almost like 40% of the time. So I will give you that the Packers are probably better than the Bears, but now we're getting up to 6.5, 7 points. I just can't do that. So it would only be the Bears for me.
I like this guy's comment. He says, Toast pick is going to be Waterboy over 55.5 bottles.
No, I mean both. I think we see a low scoring game. Both kicking markets are at 6.5. The field goals are plus money. It is what it is.
Using the kicker market, yes, to find the true edge.
I do.
Packers are could be a top 3 defense in the league though. So I mean, comparing them to what we're going to see at home against the Bears to me is a little different. But
yeah, that's my same counter. Is I think fast forward a month, we're going to be talking about the Packers defense making a lot of people look sluggish and off key and off kilter and off timing and stuff like that. They look phenomenal, I think.
Steve, talk about your boys. Steve is a Seahawks fan. He's from out there. So
they have those?
Yeah, they do have those. The 13th man.
I know the 13th. I know I'm going to get smoked by the 12, right?
Oh, no, he's the 12th man? Or they call themselves the 13th or the 12th man?
Yeah, they stole that from Texas A&M. They have no originality in Seattle.
So we stole nothing. We stole absolutely
nothing. Really? Because Texas A&M hasn't had the 12th man for 100 damn years. Stop it.
Anyways, here we go, Titans fan. Listen up. Here's my worry in this game, by the way. Seahawks, I lean the under, okay, but I'm not loving it. Here's my problem. They have an injury to Devon Witherspoon. He is our best player on the entire team. He is a stud. They move him all over the field. With him out and Manworry out as well, the rookie, I do worry about the secondary. But Tariq Woolen, by the way, was awful in week 1. Holy smokes. But both of these D-lines, I think, are going to absolutely dominate today. I mean, I think the Steelers' defensive line and front seven will get after Darnold. I think our front seven can get after Aaron Rodgers. I don't love both these offensive lines. So it's one of those games. The old line that holds up the best may win this one. I'm not too worried about the East Coast trip early in the year, but I do lean under. But the secondary injuries are brutal. If Rodgers does have time and we don't get to him without Witherspoon and Manworry, it could be problems for Seattle. So I do lean under. I don't have a play on the side here though, but I am curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on this game because 40.5 is a low total, but especially with the Steelers coming off an 80-point game last week or whatever it was. But my only play in this game is Zach Charbonnet anytime touchdown. But you could do a lot of things with Charbonnet. He is slowly becoming the running back now in Seattle. He had 12 carries to Kenneth Walker's 10, 4 red zone rush attempts to Walker's 2. He got the rushing touchdown in week 1. Now, plus 240, I don't think we're going to see that very often. And then we're facing the Steelers, who were bad defensively, obviously, in week 1, gave up over 100 rush yards to Breece Hall, gave up a total of 3 rushing touchdowns to Justin Fields, and they gave up 1 to Braylon Allen as well. So at over 2-1, I really like Zach Charbonnet for anytime touchdown. But I got to lean under in this game. It sucked year after year watching this offensive line just struggle. And it's been like that for a few years. And it's been my biggest problem watching the Seahawks. So I can't really trust them offensively yet. But I do think they are better than what they showed last weekend. So I do think we get a little bit better offensive performance. But I just think we see a ton of pressures, ton of sacks in this game. And by the way, the Mariners are good, okay? So even if the Seahawks aren't, the Mariners usually carry us to about July. And then we give up and we're ready for Seahawks. We're all in on the Mariners over here right now. Okay, just 1 point.
The Steelers have gotten nuked this morning. It was at -3, -110. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's 2 days ago. It's at -3. Got bet up to 3.5. It just got hit again. It's up to 4. Keep in mind, this is at 200K limits. So someone is nuking the Steelers right now. For war. To move the line
going to war.
To move the line at this point, someone is putting down a lot of bread on the Steelers.
I don't think it would be just somebody. It's got to be respected money.
Yeah. It's got to be someone's nuking the Steelers right now. Oh, actually, it's 4. 4 -110 is what I'm looking at right now. John, what do you think?
I think I had no idea how disparate prices could be this close to game time. I normally don't bet into the NFL general market, in the last hour. But yeah, dude, the game we were talking about before, they were legit -110 prices on 2 different books with full point differences. You got to do your due diligence. I think reading the tape is very important. But I'm just saying, my assumption is generally once we get those big moves, everybody kind of follows. And maybe because it's real time, we're in that little gray space in between. Anyway, I thought I liked the Seahawks, but I'm really worried about the secondary injuries, like we've heard already. That's a real concern. I ended up shifting, even though I'm not a tremendous fan of the Steelers offense. People that are trying to get bullish in this offense, they scored like the third most points on the sixth fewest plays and a bottom 10 success rate. It was not good. That said, Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers is going to be the most hateable combination in football. Again, whatever. It's like, get your leather helmet out. We're going to be doing all the running and all the play action with the gritty quarterback stuff. It's going to be awful. But I do think we can take advantage of it in the player prop market. I have Calvin Austin queued up. You can get 4 catches at plus 115. That's a live one. And just all the kind of stuff I was talking about before from a utilization standpoint. He ran the plus 85% route participation, which you're looking for, caught 4 of 6 targets, more than 2 yards per out run, all the kind of things that are going to earn you more work. 66% of these Steelers air yards in that first game. And more importantly, probably the slot stuff, as I was talking about before. He's dominating the slot work here on 5 slot targets. I think that's where we're going to get it with the multiple injuries, as whatever's left of the Seattle secondary focuses more on Metcalf. I just think you'll see Austin operate underneath and, high probability spots and a couple third down, fourth down situations. And these are my favorite bets to cash, like a guy that can go 4 for 12. And I'm doing a sick dance. Like, I got the broomstick out. I'm literally high-fiving my kids, going nuts. They're like, he got stopped for the fourth down. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. Who cares? You know what I mean? So prop betting at its best. This one's going to be really ugly. I don't think I want to touch the actual lines.
I want to show you what I'm looking at here with the Steelers. Pinnacle just followed, moved it up to 4 also. So, yeah, see all those colors here? Steelers are getting nuked right now. So this is a tough one because my original thought was kind of what Steve said in the beginning. He said under, and I was feeling the same way. I had said under in this game. Aaron Rodgers played great, but he wasn't pressured in the Jets game. I love that Seahawks defensive front. They actually generated a ton of pressure last week. Brock Purdy just kept escaping. Even the game-winning play was Brock Purdy escaping out of the pocket when he was pressured. Aaron Rodgers' old ass isn't escaping shit. So I think the Seahawks defense is able to apply a lot of pressure that the Jets defense didn't last week. And Rodgers could be under some siege in this game. And then on the other side, Sam Darnold looks so bad. I almost won that Seahawks bet last week. I didn't deserve it. He looks so bad. Steelers defense, bad opener in MetLife. They come back home. I think they bounce back. The reason I don't have this bet and the reason I'm being short with this is, like I already mentioned, the injuries to the Seahawks defense and also the injuries to the Steelers defense as well. I mean, there's pieces out all over the place here. Derek Harmon is not going to make his Steelers debut on the defensive line. Safety Deshaun Elliott is out for this game. Corner Joey Porter is out for this game. So you've got Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey. Key piece. They're like the key pieces back. The two, let me rephrase. The 2 returning pieces of the Steelers secondary, Porter and Elliott, are out. So the main piece of the Steelers secondary, Darius Slay, Thornhill, Ramsey, they're the pieces that weren't there last year. They got cooked by Justin Fields last week. So now it's like, wait a second, maybe Darnold could play well. So because of all the injuries, I can't bet it. But Toast, you're on Boswell, aren't you?
Of course I'm on Boswell, but I just want to set a disclaimer, guys. I got Boswell at 6.5 minus 125. Now you're starting to see 7.5s pop up on this market. At 7.5, I would need like plus money for me to like that. You want to pay the juice at like 130 on MGM, but don't go 7.5 at like minus 110 or anything like that. It's a completely different bet, and his field goals are juiced up too. So if you can get MGM at 6.5, bet it. But yeah, it's Boswell. He's one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker in the league. It's enough said.
Someone's putting a lot of dough on Boswell, obviously.
Dude, Toast is
You
moving
see the
these
comments?
markets.
Everybody's like, "Where's the props? Where's the kicking props? Come on, Toast, feed me, feed me."
No one said that. No one said that. No one said Toast,
right.
Feed me regarding kicking prop.
I mean, listen, he's paying attention to the shit.
I truly do.
Who the hell wants it? You guys go ahead. I don't know. Someone talk about this game. I don't know.
I'm curious to see other people. This line opened to 7.5.
Well, it was Brock Purdy. We didn't know Brock Purdy was out.
I know that, but 3, it's the Saints. It's kind of like baseball. You got a much better starting pitcher or something, but still the better team is the 49ers. I did not bet this game, so I'm not going to sit here and say that's 49ers all the way, but a crazy stat, 49ers have not covered the spread in consecutive weeks since December of 2023. That is wild to me, but only a field goal favorite against the Saints. 49ers still have McCaffrey. They have Pearsall, who I think is going to have a big game here. I almost bet some of his player props, but Mac Jones, we don't know what we're going to get, but he stepped in for Trevor Lawrence and outplayed him for the Jaguars last year. Again, different team, different system, all that kind of stuff. They still have the better quarterback, in my opinion. Spencer Rattler is not good. The Saints, the worst team in the league, in my opinion. I know they kept it close against Arizona. Saints' run defense was awful in week 1. Run CMC should still run all over them. 49ers defense looked good against the Hawks. I know it's the Seahawks. Our O-line sucks. Salah took over as the defensive coordinator. Looks like he never left. Line moving from 7.5 to 3. I mean, again, I haven't bet it, but how do you not take the 49ers at this low of a number? They are still the better team. Maybe we get the old Patriot Mac Jones. I know that's the wild card here. But if he can play like he did in Jacksonville, this should not be 3, in my opinion. But again, I did not make a bet. That's my only lean or bet on this game.
I got something cool in this game. Check this out. And I want to give credit to, this comes from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Sean Greed said this. I don't know if there's anything to this, but so apparently a few years back, Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones. And instead, he was talked into by the front office or whatever into drafting Trey Lance instead. So he would probably want to show out with Mac Jones as like hey, you should listen to me. I don't know. I think that's interesting that he would want to show out to like show whoever he was arguing with in the front office that like, I know what I'm talking about. I think that's interesting.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Yeah,
that's interesting, right? I feel like that's an angle. Yeah. And shout out to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's where I got that from. They said it on their show. 49ers. But I'm not going to waste another second talking about this game. You guys, John, you have anything here?
No. Sometimes caring too much about these games makes me feel like I might have a problem. So that's kind of where I draw the line sometimes. It's just, it is what it is. It's so unfortunate for the 49ers. Kidding aside, it's just unfortunate for the 49ers to see the injury bug hit them like this, because they should, by all intents and purposes, be at least, a touchdown favorite. We're talking about George Kittle is going to steamroll these guys. Brock Purdy is going to pick them to pieces. He was starting to run a little bit, and they were just maybe hitting that, stride for the competitive window, and it's been a disaster. I think I'm still waiting on the Jennings news. That might have come out since we've hopped on. I didn't see it yet. Whether or not he's going to play. If he's out, it's even worse. I don't know. Trent Williams, I just wanted to see if he was on the active list or not. So I think the 49ers, I was up in the air because I didn't see that list. So I would check that first. I don't think I like them either way. If both of those guys are out, you might have an argument for
I think they're both going to play. I think they're both.
You think they're both going to play?
Yeah. I think Jennings is in. Yeah.
I think Trent Williams is in too. I don't quote me on that, but it looks like ESPN, not the reliable source, has taken the cues down off them.
All right, well, if they're both playing, then leave the game alone. If they were both out, I think maybe Saints at the points would be interesting. But you can't.
Oh my God! I want to have a Saints logo up under John's face.
That'd be crazy. So yeah, I'm not interested. It's a no thanks.
I'll give you the money line, John.
No, I mean at three, why not?
Toast.
Best bet.
It would only be San Francisco to me, or for me. I'm not betting it, but I will say
you're like the underdog guy.
I know, but I have to have reasons, John. I'm not just going out here.
It's Mac Jones.
Your reasons have been horseshit. All right, go ahead.
Okay, my horseshit reasons are still cashing, so whatever. Smell it up if you like.
I didn't say that.
The only reason, I just wanted to point this out, Kyle Shanahan without Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo, 9-32 straight up and 9-3 as a favorite against the spread. Just not something I want to get into on the road. I'm done.
Deep. Next up.
What am I supposed to do after the third person that passed?
Carolina, Arizona. Tosh, you got a kicker, John, in this game?
I don't. I got nothing on this one. I wish I did. I'm sorry.
John, you have anything in this one?
I want Carolina to cover, but this is one of the reasons I wait to get involved in the general market, because right now it's just vibes based. You want Carolina to kind of pick up where they left off last year, but now they've had a ton of injuries. I do know I don't love Arizona. Like, I do know the people that are really, really bullish in Arizona, they can make this like stinky face. That number's moved to 7. I definitely wouldn't touch it to cover 7. If we get to 7.5, I probably like Carolina getting the points. But this is just another really, really ugly one. I don't know what to make of these games right now. These teams are just not any good. Arizona really outperformed, by the way. They went for 4.5 yards per play with a 39% success rate. These are not the hallmarks of a really good team. They do run the ball really well, but now with the kind of come on of Trey Benson, it's hard to back Connor in the prop markets. He was always like this volume-based beast, and without knowing that, you can't really look for the explosivity that you might not get. He even has seeded a little bit of the passing game work. I don't know. I like Ted McMillan. I think maybe he might be the best player on that side of the ball, but I don't know, man. I'm not touching this one. I guess Carolina with the points, but I wouldn't bother.
I wanted to get to Carolina, and if you guys remember, so here are my thoughts on this game, and I'll put a graphic up because this is where I want to get. And honestly, I'm not ruling it out. I might even end up betting. I don't have any bets. Oh, I do have one 4:00 bet. It's in the next one. I don't have many, like all my bets are in the 1:00 games. Like once we get to the late games, I got nothing left. So I'm trying to find some stuff. I want to go right here. Over 44.5. And all right. It's very clear that Carolina's defensive front might struggle this year. The Jags steamrolled them on the ground last week. The Jags. Now you're talking about going to Arizona against probably one of the most dynamic physical rushing attacks in the NFL with James Conner and that Arizona Cardinals team. So Cardinals are going to run the ball in this game. No one would argue that. You guys got to remember, when I bet the Jags last week, it was not, hey, Bryce Young sucks. It was not, oh, what we saw at the end of last year was a fluke. It was none of that. It was solely based on the zone coverage. I was like, this dude cannot throw against zone coverage. So I'm down to play on Bryce Young to score points. Problem is, Cardinals kind of run zone too. Not like as much as Jacksonville did last week, but I'm sure these defensive coaches have access to the numbers I do, and then a bunch more than that. I would imagine they run a lot of zone coverage here. I want to get to over 44.5, maybe buy low on the Panthers offense. I think it was a really bad matchup for them. The reason I don't have it, and what scares me, the Cardinals ran a snail pace last week. They were 30th in terms of seconds between snaps last week, and the way they call their offense, the way they coach their team, they run the ball, they want to hold on to the football for 7, 8, 9 minutes at a time. I think they're intentionally playing that slow. So it's tough to get up and over when you're going to have the Cardinals hand it off 35 seconds, hand it off 35 seconds. I mean, all of a sudden, the ball's moving, and then they're like, shit, there's 2 minutes left in the quarter, and they kick the field goal. It could kill an over really quick. I'm trying to find bets in the later games, and I'm struggling. It'd only be over for me, as I don't think the Panthers' offense is that bad, but Steve?
Yeah, I don't have much in this game. I do want to take the Carolina side if I had to, at +7 or higher, but this is a tough one. It's kind of weird. Me and John keep talking about the same guys, but he mentioned Trey Benson. If you're going to do a prop, this is one. If I added one more prop, this was going to be my prop. I'm just trying to make sure I limit my count a little bit in week 2. But Trey Benson over rushing yards. People are worried about Connor and everything. It's like in the mid-30s. This guy's going to get at least 8 to 10 carries, I think, at least. He's explosive against the worst run defense. I mean, this could cash quickly. So
I've got 45, by the way.
Did it move up that quickly? When I looked at it on Thursday, it was like
30. No, I've got 45 yards projected. I mean, I'm like, okay. What? Yeah, you and I. That's what I was getting to. You made my heart a little warm with that mention. Like, we're totally simpatico. I have a smash on that for the mean projections.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if the Cardinals do run away with it, they're probably going to give him some extra carries at the end of the game too. You know, instead they don't want to run John.
That's a really good call out. Benson overs when the Cardinals are a touchdown favorite to get that late work, dude. That's a great call out, bro.
So that's really all my lean on this side. I like the Panthers. I'm just really curious. I want to sit back and see, is Bryce Young going to find that late season form, or is this going to be one of those offenses we saw at the first half of last year? So it's just a stay away game for me.
Toast?
I have absolutely nothing. I apologize, guys. I looked at Kyler Murray rushing yards, but it's like 28.5. And the only reason I looked at that is because he scrambled like 7 times last week. And I was reading that they were supposedly going to give him some designed runs, but not enough to actually make a bet. I was just trying to be informed.
Let's move on to the next game. I do have a bet in this game, but Toast, you down to middle? You trying to middle?
Yeah, of course.
Let's
I've cashed the last 2 that we middled. So
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And then the last middle we did hit Iowa State. So if you don't know what we're talking about, I grabbed Colts +3.5 at open. So I'm holding Colts +3.5 right now. Right now, I'm looking, and if I can get, I haven't looked this morning. This, by the way, this game, I haven't seen this line get hit in a couple days. This has been sitting at the same shit for 2 days. So I don't. This market must be pretty efficient because no one seems to want to bet it at this number. Caesars is down at 1. Everyone else is 2.5. This is a very strange market. No one's hitting it.
You just play money line minus 120, yeah?
Yeah. So okay, that's what I'm going to put up. And so I'm assuming everyone watching knows what middle is. But I will put it up. Where's my 1 second?
That Iowa State one was awesome.
That was awesome. So I have a Colts plus 3.5. You could no longer get that. I'm going to put Broncos money line up, and then I'm going to obviously if you're on the text list or whatever, you have Colts plus 3.5 also. I'm going to middle this. If you want to know the reason, actually the reason I bet the Colts at plus 3.5 was this. They looked awesome. This is going to close below 3. That was literally my reason for betting it. So this is kind of. I set the whole thing up. I am not a Bo Nix guy, but I also think that Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen had a serious element of surprise there in the opener against a Miami team. Guys, not only is Miami not as good as originally we thought, but also it's a Miami team that has a brand new defense. Those edge rushers, Phillips and Chubb, they didn't even play last year. The secondary's new. So in addition to not having no idea what Shane Steichen was about to do with Daniel Jones, the Dolphins defense is just all new as well. I do think the Dolphins defense will actually be all right. So now that they have a game of film, they know what Steichen's trying to do. It's the Broncos. It's probably the best defense in the NFL. I think we see the Colts offense come down to earth a little bit. And on the other side, I don't think Bo Nix is very good. And the Colts defensive front is very good, is underrated. So I thought plus 3.5 was a great bet. Now I can get an affordable money line on Denver, who is the stronger team. Middle me up.
Yeah, I'll go next. I got 2 bets in this game. I got the Broncos on the money line, just like you said, at minus 120 earlier this week. This is one of my best bets here. I think it's kind of like a buy low, sell high spot all at once. Look ahead line before week 1 was Denver minus 3.5. And now I'm getting them on the money line at minus 120 just because the Colts crushed a Miami team maybe. I mean, to me, it's just too much movement. But yes, they crushed the Dolphins. We talked about it. They're terrible. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's still a Colts team led by Daniel Jones. He had all the time in the world for the most part. He was getting rid of the ball quick. I will say I was impressed by how they were doing that. He was like top 5 on quickest release from snap to release and all that. But this O-line is not the same for Indianapolis. I'm not saying it's bad, but Kelly and Freese both gone. I do think they are a little worse this year. Colts defense, again, Miami offensive line might be the worst in the league. So we'll see. I do think they have a decent defensive line, obviously, like Kyle said, but Broncos have a much better offensive line. Injuries, Colts in the secondary. Charvarius Ward and Jalen Jones are both out for this game. Deanne Latu was questionable last time I checked. Some big injuries there. I don't know if I can try. I mean, I know I can't trust Daniel Jones versus the top of the offense or defense. And guess who had the highest pressure rate? It was insane. The Broncos were almost 60% pressure rate. They're not going to be like that every week, obviously, but this is going to be a much tougher challenge for them. And yes, we know the scoreboard only showed that the Broncos won by 8, scored 20. Again, to win by 8 in an NFL game when you have 4 turnovers, is actually pretty impressive. I don't expect them to have 4 turnovers again. Luckily, they played the Titans, who were horrendous. But anyways, just had to throw that in there. Broncos, 317 yards, out-yarded them by 200. Defense should absolutely smother them. I liked what I saw from R.J. Harvey in the small playing time. Good injury report. Ingram is going to play. He was questionable earlier. And I just think we're getting the Bronchies. Who's the Bronchies? Broncos, after a sloppy week 1 here, everyone's going to love the Colts like we talked about. I like fading teams after they just crush somebody. So I'm on the Broncos money line. I'm not a huge Bo Nix guy, but I think they get the job done. I think Sutton has some success here as well. But my second best bet, kind of correlated, Daniel Jones under 204.5 passing yards. I talked about this early. He had a great week 1, 272 yards. I get that, ton of points. It was against Miami. He now faces the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. I think Patrick Surtain's going to shut Michael Pittman out. Front seven's going to get constant pressure like we talked about. Again, it was a rookie, but they gave up 112 passing yards to Cam Ward. A little bit different, but I just think it's going to be tougher. I think it's kind of a sell high spot for Daniel Jones in this. If he didn't play well against Miami, this line would probably be much lower. In fact, I think this line started at like 210, 212, something like that. It's going down to like under 200 right now. So I like his under pass yards. All things Broncos defense. I think the Broncos win the game too.
Carolina, Arizona, that over 44.5 I liked. Just got hit at circa. It's 45.5. Jumped up everywhere.
I just want to point out, just remember that the Broncos killed the Colts last year 31-3, and Bo Nix threw 3 interceptions and for 130 yards, and somehow they still won that game. So I don't know. I think we see a close game here and the Colts win, but yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
Or Denver wins. Sorry.
All right, let's move on to.
Wait, I got one quick one. I got one quick on this.
Oh, you didn't go yet?
No. Just quick. I'm with you. The way I summed this one up when the Colts last week was the Chappelle thing. Gotcha, bitch. They totally caught it by surprise. I think now that the book is out, Indianapolis is going to prove to be a lot less prolific. I also think so. Where I ended up on this one is you could put me for Denver money line. I'm with you guys. I can't believe that number's still minus 118. Here's where I think we get it. I like the longest rush props in this one. Indy, the tackling was as bad as anybody, and the rush defense was as bad as anybody. They allowed 6.5 yards per rush, 2.5 before contact, nearly 4 yards after contact per rush, and a 17% explosive rush rate. Explosive rush rate is what you want to look for longest rush. There's 3 of them up on the board right now. I think you could literally get all 3 of them to hit. Dobbins 13, Harvey is 12, and Nix is 11. I think they all could get there because we're talking about a tightly contested game. That's evidenced in the 1-point line or 2-point line, depending on where you're looking. And that the big difference from last week, right? Denver was getting stymied up front with the front 4 of Tennessee. Sorry, cover your ears, Toast. As good as they were, the rest of the team not very good. I think that little bit of cushion, Denver being able to run the ball, I think that trickles all the way downhill to the Denver win, with the defense being ridiculous. Steve was mentioning the Denver defensive stats last week were insane. I know we could argue Tennessee, but they pressure, they cover, they stop the run. You don't always see these kind of, across the board dominating metrics that you get from Denver. So I'm really surprised at the number of the line in general.
I just bet the Broncos money line, by the way. So I'm in.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
So yeah, I officially got that game middled. Next up, the Eagles Chiefs, man. I have no idea. I feel like based on what we've seen last couple months of last season, week 1, I think you'd have to say on a neutral, the Eagles are a strong 3 over the Chiefs, maybe a 3 minus 120 over the Chiefs on a neutral. So in Kansas City, I guess it would only be the Eagles. I know, like, Mahomes as a dog, Mahomes as a home dog and all that. Man, the Chiefs offense is concerning. They have no receivers. They can't seem to protect Mahomes. Mahomes doesn't look that comfortable in the pocket, even when he has one. They don't have a consistent running game against the Eagles defense that are getting a pissed off Jalen Carter coming back. The Eagles are really good. I'm going to put under up because there is one aspect of the Chiefs I do believe in still, and that's Spagnuolo. And I think the defense, I think he'll have something drawn up to give Hurts some problems. And I can see the Chiefs defense bouncing back. If the Chiefs win this game, I think it'll be low scoring. One of those ugly ones. So I'm going to put the under up. But honestly, I really don't know. This feels like a coin flip at this number. I'd probably make this Eagles minus 1.5, Eagles minus 2. So go ahead, Toast.
I have a comment and a question for you. Well, the comment, Mahomes, about him as an underdog, he's 12-2-1 ATS as an underdog. That's 85%, and he covers at over 6.5 points a game. My question to you, Kyle, and this isn't like a gotcha joke, I'm dead serious. Do you think that, because I know that I agree with you about the Spagnuolo and the defense getting better for the Chiefs, with A.J. Brown not healthy and Dallas Goedert not suiting up, do you think that matters a lot? I mean, we're getting Chiefs at a plus price at home.
We are polling 74% Eagles, 17%.
Let's go. All right,
everyone watching
I will
this
be on
show
the Chiefs.
right now
I'm betting it right now.
That makes me feel terrible about how much I like the Eagles.
Yeah, everyone watching the show right now is on the holy. This is the most one-sided poll of the day. 75%, 60.
50s. Let's go, baby.
I kind of want to bet the Chiefs now too.
I'm in. I'm already in. 102 on DraftKings. I'm in.
John, you're on the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. A lot of times, you and I, from a roster kind of standpoint, I know you do a lot of work in that. It's great work, and that's where we align, and that's where I'm at. I get the Mahomes stuff. I just can't start buying into narrative street with a Chiefs defense that just made the Chargers look unbelievable, which is funny. Now, like, everyone's high on the Chargers. Justin Herbert, MVP. What about the Chiefs defense? He's just that great that they're still great. I mean, Philly's offense is not only stacked, what makes them so dangerous is the different ways that they can beat you. You know, you want to stop the run, you still have to do what Saquon. And no, even a great run defense is going to struggle there. Plus the threat of Hurts. You want to, you know, keep it in front of you. They could beat you with Devonta. You want to keep, you know, play it close. They could beat you over the top with A.J. Brown. And then they just have a lot of complementary pieces. The Chiefs roster, that pass catching room is a damn disaster. And the Eagles D probably going to be pretty damn fired up after they had trouble getting out of the box with Dallas. I know they got out with the win, but they probably admit they didn't play the way they wanted to. I got, you know, a news flash. The Eagles are not going to finish in the bottom 5 in explosive plays and QB hits and leave without a sack. That ain't happening again. I think if that pendulum swings back, I never want to be like the Chiefs are going to get killed, but I think they should be at least 3.5 or 4 point underdogs, and that's the Mahomes, you know, market magic at work. Give me the Eagles to win. I wouldn't even pay to cover the -1.5 I'm looking at -108. Why wouldn't you just pay the -120 money line and take the straight up win? You'd hate to win by 1 point and lose.
So I just did it, by the way.
Let's go.
I
You
just
bet the Chiefs?
money line. Guys, I want to be clear. I am doing something you're not supposed to do. I just bet into an NFL money. And I put an NFL side down at post. This is not a smart bet. This is not going to beat the market. I'm gambling. I'm on the Chiefs money line at plus money, fading the poll. Let's go. I needed to find some bets to play in the late games. This is not going to beat the number.
I wanted to gamble a little bit. Then I found some fun things. So now, yeah. Also, Patrick Mahomes never lost 3 straight games in his career. Super Bowl, week 1. Can't happen week 2. Let's go.
Steve.
Okay, guys.
Nope. Put the Eagles up for him. Put the Eagles up before he even starts talking. Then
that Chiefs fan just
What an open! That was sick.
I did not bet it yet, but it's Eagles money line for me, guys. This is a team that's won 17 of their last 18. You can talk about Mahomes not losing 3 in a row. This team has not lost more than 1 game in their last 18. Their number 1 defensive player is back. Here's the deal. I haven't placed it. Maybe it's because I'm afraid too. Just thinking of the Chiefs coming off a loss makes us all scared because we've seen the Chiefs and Mahomes for the last 3 years or 5 years, whatever it is, what they've done. And I get that. But if you just break it down on these rosters, it's not that close right now because Mahomes literally is dealing with Hollywood Brown and Isaiah Pacheco to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that's won 17 of their last 18, a good defense. They just don't have many weapons. We have seen it before where this offense struggles. I'd lean under in this game if I had to lean on a total as well. But, I mean, this Eagles offense should be able to run the ball a decent amount. You know, Dallas Goedert being out is a problem. But Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, I mean, he is an average tight end. I mean, let's just face it. He's just a name right now. He's an average tight end at this point in his career. And you're dealing with, you know, not super explosive running backs. Marquise Brown. I mean, this is not a great roster. This is an above average roster right now. And I think we're just afraid because it's the Chiefs and what they've done and everything. The Eagles are the better team. I mean, I don't know how you can even argue that, to be honest with you. Xavier Worthy is a huge part of this offense, stretches the field. The Eagles can cheat up. They don't have to worry about stretching the field very much. Chiefs defense was ugly. I think they bounced back a little, but they had the 5th lowest pressure rate in the NFL at under 10%. It's not going to change much against a really good Eagles offensive line, maybe the best in the league. Again, better team, healthier team, won 17 of the last 18. It's a pick 'em. I don't know how you can be excited at least picking the Chiefs like Toast is. But again, I haven't made the bet yet, but I do want to bet Eagles now after listening to all of this talk.
I also bet Hollywood Brown over 58 yards after that soliloquy you just put out.
Toast's favorite game of the day, apparently.
Volume should be there for him, though. Definitely. Yeah.
He plays with my son on Call of Duty every once in a while. I love Marquise Brown.
Does he? Nice.
Yeah.
Falcons, Vikings in Minnesota. There's 3.5 cents. I'm putting the poll at Vikings -3, Falcons +3.5, because obviously if you're betting either side, you'd be taking the better number. So when I first looked at this game, I don't have a bet on it. When I first looked at it, it was 4.5. And my initial reaction would have been right. I was like, oh, should I grab this Falcons +4.5 right now? I think we were even talking about it in the group chat. if I remember correctly, we were considering I actually think some people in the group chat did take the 4.5. Now that it's down to 3, and I was looking at it, I think at 3 you have to go Vikings. Guys, in the second half, it's hard to unsee the first half, right? Guys, the graphic says 3.5. Do not bet Vikings minus 3.5. Do not bet minus 3.5. For the love of God, don't do it. If you're betting the Vikings, you can get a flat 3 at minus 110 on Caesars. So it's hard to unsee the first half. JJ McCarthy was so bad, and it was kind of like the lead story in the world. Monday Night Football, everyone was watching, everyone was talking shit about JJ McCarthy. It's hard to unsee that. Guys, in the second half, the Vikings on both sides of the ball looked unstoppable. I mean, granted, the Bears offense shot themselves in the foot a couple times. Caleb Williams missed some throws. But, guys, this is still the same defense of Brian Flores. This is still the same blitz packages coming. And the Falcons, although they should have won that game against Tampa, the Falcons were struggling with the Bucs defense. They're going into Minnesota against Brian Flores blitzes. I don't think it's going to be great. You want to know where I think this Falcons team is weak? The offensive line. They're missing 2 of their guys from last year. Drew Dahlman's gone. Caleb McGarry I think he's out for the season. So 2 of their main offensive linemen from last year are gone. I'm worried about this Falcons offensive line, and they were struggling with Tampa. They're going into Minnesota against those blitzes. They're coming, and the Falcons weren't able to run the ball in the Bucs last week. They're not going to be able to run the ball here. The only thing is, the Falcons defense looked strong last week, but so if JJ McCarthy, what version are we going to see? First half or second half? If it's second half, Vikings minus 3 is a steal. If it's first half, I fucked up. I think I'm going to bet Vikings at the flat 3. I'm doing it now.
That was great.
I'll be betting Atlanta, so I'll just go that while Kyle's making his bet.
Bad bet.
Drake London's going to be fine for Atlanta, which is good. I also think that Atlanta's defense looked sneaky good last week. I don't think that shutting down that Tampa Bay offense with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Bucky Irvin, who none of those guys really did anything, it looks like Atlanta kind of hit with all their defensive draft picks. Not to mention the fact we always got to talk about the kickers. Younghoe Koo's going to be out. Parker Romo's going to be in. He was at 91% his career field goal attempts. He also has history kicking this stadium. I think Michael Penix comes down. I don't want to hear it, John. I think Michael Penix.
I've never taken kicking this seriously in my life, man. You probably have my fantasy teams.
Start paying attention to the channel. Okay. Falcons plus 3.5 is my bet, and I did bet this.
It's a bad bet.
Is there any relation to Tony Romo? Parker Romo?
No, sorry.
Okay.
He wishes.
Your boy Younghoe Koo, was he just benched or what? Is he hurt? I didn't even know what happened.
He sucks.
Okay. Wow.
Vikings minus 3, flat minus 110. I'm in. All right, Steve, what are you on?
I like the under. I haven't placed it, but I think I may end up doing it. By the way, it's a rematch of the national championship game. JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, UW versus Michigan, and I watched.
JJ McCarthy hasn't lost since then, right? Vikings should be free.
He's played 1 football game.
He's played 1. Yeah.
I thought he played a whole season after that or something. I saw something. Oh, it was when they lost the national championship. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Anyways, he also just had a baby this week. I don't know, that new dad strength or something too. But I think we see 2 conservative offenses here. I like the under here. They did not stretch the Falcons did not stretch the field much at all last week. Lots of run, a lot of short passes, eating up clock. And then, like Kyle talked about, they had 1 good offensive quarter on Monday Night Football. Can they repeat that success over a whole game? And then, Toast kind of touched on it. The Falcons played pretty well defensively. I liked what I saw. This Vikings offense, they're going to go as Jordan Mason in this running game goes, and Aaron Jones and all that. So if they can't run the ball, I think they are going to struggle here. And then Vikings Flores is going to throw a lot of different looks at Penix. It's going to, he's still a rookie. I mean, he hasn't played a full season in the NFL, so he's still considered a rookie in my eyes. I think they're going to come out fired up at home. Their defense is going to play pretty well here. And especially Atlanta missing those 2 offensive linemen, you saw it. I mean, it was not the same run game as we saw last year. It's only 1 game. I think we see a 21-17 type of game. And just to kind of go with what they've said, prop lean is Bijan Robinson under rushing yards. Don't touch his under receiving yards. He is a beast. But missing 2 offensive linemen, he barely ran the ball. I think he had like 20-something yards last week against this Minnesota run defense. His number's too high because of his name. So I like his under rushing yards, but I just like this under in this game, full game total.
John, Sunday Night Football.
Man, this one really... Wait. Is that the game we were talking about? Is that on Sunday?
Yeah. Falcons.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a night game. You guys nailed it. Funny, Kyle. I was like nodding along with you like crazy because I actually have 4 plus 4.5 super contest picks that now you can't get, and I don't like it the same way that I did. I was leaning into maybe a reception prop at Kyle Pitts. I'm just not sure because Mooney is back. Not that it really goes with the play. Just check it out fast because I'm with you. Atlanta struggled against Tampa, and that's a far cry from Minnesota's D. What do you get with Minnesota's D? Something I was mentioning before. You get that really high rate of too high shells. They're okay allowing you to operate underneath. That's reflected in all the stats, right? Minnesota was like a top 5, too high rate. And the slot receiver, again, it's not saying they tore him up, but they allow it. So they allow 10 grabs for $1.07 and a touchdown. Don't look now. Kyle Pitts looks pretty good. He just might be healthy this year. 83% route participation. He ran 39 routes. He earned 8 targets. And maybe more importantly for this exercise, 3 of them, 3 catches in the slot. He's plus 110 for 4 grabs. So especially if you think that they might be behind, he could kind of get that on the last drive. And a lot of times there's kind of a scummy, PPR scam type of guy. That's when we cash these bets. When we're down 10 points and it's just like dup, 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 and there you go. So that's the bet I like. Kyle Pitts at plus money to get 4 of the ugliest grabs ever. This one, also, Kyle, the last thing you said, the second half of Minnesota, if you didn't watch that game and you're just going by box scores, I don't think you saw the Jekyll and the Hyde. If you think they pick up from there, they could kill the Falcons.
That's what I'm saying. I like that.
That one's in the cards. And you know what? Even with that, good. Down 21, Kyle Pitts might make 8 grabs.
All right, let's do the community parlay. Let's play the song.
Community parlay, the parlay. Yeah. Community, make it, yeah.
All right, community parlay. Leg number 1 is going to be, they like the Steelers. Steelers money line. Bears, Lions, they like the Lions money line. Patriots, Dolphins, they like the Patriots. They love the Patriots. Damn it. 49ers, Saints, they like the 49ers. All right, first leg of the community parlay. Cash your votes. Steve, while they're voting, where can the folks find your stuff?
Yeah, just a Bet Outside on YouTube. We talk NFL, MLB, NBA, give out a lot of research help, a lot of stats for you guys to make your own bets, and as well as giving out, props, game bets, anything you guys need on X as well. And then, we do it every single weeknight, and it's a lot of fun. It's our fourth season on the channel, 4th year on the channel, I think.
All right. Lions money, that's just a Bet Outside. And Lions money line is the first leg of the community parlay. Second leg, we got Ravens money line. It's just up to 12.5 now. It would be very community-esque to put Ravens money line in this, by the way. If you don't know, it's pretty on brand for them. Ravens,
what was the first game?
They Lions. And then Cowboys money line. All right, second leg of the community parlay. Cash your votes. John, where can the folks find your stuff?
Follow me on Twitter at John Legeza. You see it there, Leghezza. John Legeza, flow sharper than a razor, bitches. The handle, you bring it. You check out the pin tweet. It'll bring in the Substack if you want. 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound box. We're doing baseball and football thing. R-rated podcast, data, models, algorithms, projections. It's just nuance and context for your fucking nose hole,
Guys,
you sold your
R-rated
better than I did. Holy cow!
It's R-rated podcast.
Yeah. Oh man, it's almost X-rated, but you can't see my nipples. Unless you want, then you can check out the OnlyFans. It's at Slices of Mortadella.
So chill, bro. You're gonna get my channel. Yo, chill with that. You're gonna get my channel flag for saying that.
Oh, OnlyPans.
Yo, just chill. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't say it, bro. Say OF. Lions money line.
Wait, is that a thing? God damn, I'm such a boomer. I don't know about this stuff. Is this
that word will kill you. Don't say
I
don't
honestly
say that.
apologize. I had no intention of doing it. I had no idea.
Yeah, don't tweet it either. You're screwing yourself.
So Rudes in Lio.
I don't know what you just said.
Rudes in bio. Oh.
No, that isn't.
Okay, my news are in my bio if you want. Hit me up, yeah.
No, that's fine. It's the name of the site that's flagged.
Man, that's messed up. Damn algorithms.
Well, there are some predatory practices by people on that site. I don't know if you're familiar. So maybe Eagles Chiefs, they're on Eagles.
I'm just zipping it right now. There's no answer that's going to help me.
What did they like, Vikings or Falcons?
Probably the Falcons.
No, they like
probably the Vikings.
Vikings close. It was pretty split.
Wait, that was one of the community picks? That had one of the furthest spreads for real?
No, I put whoever wins every poll in a poll.
Oh.
And
okay,
they voted for the
I'm really
Vikings.
torn on that one. I'm going to be those are the games I like to watch the most, the ones I don't really have these heavy leans on.
Cast your votes. The third leg of the.
How about this one really good piece of advice for Super Contest players? Go check right now. You might get extra points. Like these lines that we're talking about moving, you may have locked in the wrong. Like I like the Browns at 12, so I'm going to take them at 13. But you actually have to go and kind of re-click. You don't automatic on the Super Contest sites I played. You don't get to keep it. You have to go and just re-enter it. So yeah, if you play that stuff, that's a huge deal, man. It translates into wins.
I like this comment right here. He goes, "Why would we take the Ravens at such terrible odds? Welcome to the community parlay, bro."
And it's not 950 anymore. It's 800, so it's even.
Eagles is the last leg, and now we'll put the 3 second place finishers, which are Broncos money line. Why would we put the Ravens at such bad odds? Oh, bro, you must be new. The community loves doing that.
Here.
We had a community parlay 4 leg of minus 141 once. It hit. But we roasted them for it. Broncos money line, Cowboys money line, Steelers money line. What's the last leg of the community parlay? Let's get out of here and watch some football and bet some. College football is about to open up. About to drop on Circa for week 4.
Dropping some lines.
Oh, I crushed a bunch of them. I got some good numbers last night, bro. That one I think is going to beat by a touchdown. Like, way off.
Just
touchdown?
Go ahead. Real quick,
touchdown, you're going to beat the line?
Yeah, dude, if you're on the early, dude, I had Old Dominion plus 12.5 that closed at 5. They won by.
It was sweat free.
What?
Like literally sweat free.
Yeah, some of those.
North Texas was another. North Texas was another great.
North
bet
Texas
too.
3.5 closed at a touch. Well, it closed at 6.5. But yeah,
favorite bet.
Consider, even though the small number, the numbers across are huge.
So yeah, if you jump on the early ones, the lines are terrible. Now, you can't get anything significant down on it.
Right.
But like if you're just like trying to send bets out to people, be like, go hit this now. This is gonna beat the number by a touchdown. You can get it. Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
Cowboys money line.
Couple people asked me about my MLB. I haven't bet it yet, but the 3 that are circled for me: Red Sox, Tigers, Astros. I haven't bet it. I will send them out in the Discord if I do.
What's the odds on this?
I need to do.
I thought you were tracking it.
I am. I was doing my MLB because somebody asked me about the MLB.
You waited until the last second.
Dude, it's a 4-leg parlay. It's going to be plus 305, okay?
Oh, my God. Oh, no. I have to, like, cover my eye. If we're recommending that, I have to, like, cover my face to kill the recognition. You know?
Oh, I know. Don't do this. But if you are doing it, I know a lot of you freaks are. Lions money line, Ravens money line, Eagles money line, Cowboys money line plus 305. You want to bet this trash.
Bet a single event. You know what I mean? Look for one player prop that you like. Look for one whole prop.
Everybody, enjoy your football Sunday. Thanks for watching. Be back next week. Yada, yada, yada. See you at midnight.
Later.
Later, fella.
That was fun, boys.
Oh, my bad, homie. I would have never put you at risk like that. You know what I'm saying?